Block, welcome back. We are expecting more comments coming out of Jackson Hole. The economic symposium continues this afternoon. Fed's Bullard apparently supposed to be speaking right now, in fact, starting at 2 o'clock. So we'll make sure we keep an eye on any comments coming from that. Busy afternoon otherwise. Nicely positive here for markets right across the board. 1.18 for the NASDAQ, the Dow 0.35 there. You can see the S&P 0.76. So decent move back to the upside here after a pretty quiet start to the day. TSX here in Toronto 0.7, 0.3 for Brazil, 2% now. Downside, there was a pretty steep sell-off there in crude oil throughout the midday. So we're now down more than 2%, 0.6 for Bitcoin. Red now on the day, 1.2 for Ethereum. Not much in the way of reason why we got that sell-off in oil, but did come off pretty hard. So we are seeing a little bit of negativity down here. It's tough to see, but energy stocks under pressure once again. Danielle Shea coming up. She's going to talk a little bit about energy today. She's liking XLE right now. We'll ask her why. FCX, WRK, CF, NUE all upside right now. There's Dollar Tree, DG right here, 1.2, 9% off the lows for DLTR off earnings. CRM, Salesforce, 4.6%. Still struggling today, coming off their earnings report that was a bit of a mess as well. It's a positive session right across the board, but as I said, we're off the highs, obviously back to 0.76. Again, if we get any comments here from Bullard that move the market, we'll obviously pass those along. Hope your afternoon's going well. We are still watching a few things. There was a note on Boeing. I was going to talk about Boeing a little bit when we come back from a little bit of a review. Their Starship, they were talking about a date and a timeline as to when they want to get going on that. So Boeing having a pretty good afternoon, back to highs. I mean, Snowflake, so much to say about Snowflake today, back to highs as well. Just saw Peloton back on volume again. Not so much around the highs, though. Back to lows for PTON. Pretty ugly day. STBX as well. Back to lows currently. Let's have a little bit of a review here, as I mentioned, as to what we were discussing in the pre-markets this morning. There was so much, absolutely jam-packed watch list sent out to you right to your inbox this morning. Just worth a note, Bullard now speaking on CNBC. So we'll keep an eye on that. Here comes Sean, though. He's going to lead the way. Talk about one of his trades today.
Yo, what's up? Yeah, having some fun here with the boys. It's the trade of the day brought to you by Day Trade the World. Click that little QR code and start your day trading adventures today. All right, so basically, let's just make it as simple as possible. I only have the sticky note up here because today we actually nailed a couple of these names. We've been putting up ideas pretty much every day for a couple years now. And yeah, today Meta, Peloton, Baba, Snowflake, Tesla, they're all here. But what I want to talk about right here was this bottom note right there. Baba long between 95 and 96. So that's all. We have that up. You might say, okay, why are we looking long Alibaba, right? Well, I mean, this is the chart here. This is a 20-minute chart. So we have a couple days here, or it's a daily chart. Yeah, no, this is a daily chart actually. So there it is breaking this little bubble, right? So we have some barcoding back and forth with the bottom of 90 and the top of 95. We drew that line right there today. So here is the daily chart when we came in today. As you can see, I'll switch it over here. I shouldn't turn my back like that. As we switch it over here, this is 95 bottom. So as we're opened up here in the pre-market, we're sort of already above this 95 level. So already I was like, okay, we're in breakout mode right now. But the only problem here is I have one bad tick down there because we started our trade, and this is my mistake. So we start our trade, it rips up here to 97, and then I'm like, uh-oh, I did it again. I put down a level on the sticky note, and I didn't hit it. We've already missed this break of 96 up to 97, so when it fell back in, we first took our first long at 96, thinking, okay, then we reviewed. We went back to the charts, and we said to ourselves, hey, look, if we're going to take a long, let's just wait till 95, because then if we're wrong, then we can get out 94-ish, something like that. I don't want to be taking levels that are a little bit too early, so what wound up happening was a little bit of bad trade management early, and that is we go long there, and then it comes back down in, and then we finally get that long at about 95.20. The problem is, as it broke back down below, I had the out at 95 because quite frankly, if the market was going to go downside today, we had Jackson Hole, we had a couple other things that I was thinking to myself, hey, maybe this 95 doesn't hold, and then we can get a chance either to pick it up a little bit lower or hit it again. Well, thankfully, that's exactly what happens, and we wind up hitting the trade again. So it breaks back down below 95, and we get out, and we're like, that's not good. But the problem is, we basically make that downside wick. This hole here is 95, this line, right? So it comes back, and I'm like, wait a second. It shot up almost immediately after I got out. Shot up that dollar, goes right back to 96. And I'm like, we missed the trade because I got out for like way too frugal down there. Like if my out's gonna be 95, give yourself to like 94.75. Give yourself to 94.50. Problem is I had a little bit too many shares, was a little too excited about it. So we get out at 95. Thankfully, the Alibaba gods pay off. They come back in, retest that 95, and we get long at the exact same spot again, 95.20. And then it's like, okay, doesn't even test 95 this time, so we're good. And then all of a sudden, boom, to the upside. Where do we get the majority of them out here? Unfortunately, at about 95.80, 95.60, where we took that first pop. And then all of a sudden, news comes out. You're seeing the big volume spike there. And this is that US and China we're near a deal to basically open up the books and look into some of these Chinese companies. I have ultimate faith. I think it's PricewaterhouseCoopers. We've looked at Alibaba. I'm an investor in this name. I don't think there's anything fishy with their accounting. What do I know? But I feel like this is a safer name. So as soon as that happens, you hit pay dirt. And this is the thing. Look at the extension to the upside. Our next out, like as this is happening, I'm like, whoa, we saw our net jump, obviously, and it was bang to the upside. So we get some out there at 98, then it breaks 98. We take 98.50, comes back in again on news. I don't want to reload. I just want to keep going with the shares that we have. Then we just let it ride all the way to the upside. This is where on the main show, people started asking, when are you going to get out? It's approaching 100. We let it break through 100 right here. Breaks it all the way up to 101. And I'm like, I have no idea where this is going to stop. This is great news. We have a big move here for Alibaba, actually up 8 and a bit %. But unfortunately, I put the stop right at this level, 99.80. So when it pulls back down, I feel like, you know, if we don't hold this area, then we probably test back down there. And that's a 99 break. So I didn't want to give up. I mean, I got 99 problems, but I didn't want Alibaba to be one. So as it breaks back up to the upside there, we put that stop in at 99.80 right there to get out. And it's kind of a good thing we did. It does go back up, tests about $100.20 or so, but then it comes right back into 99. And as I said, that probably would have been where I got out. So I feel like I've saved myself a little bit of cash. And look where we're trading right now, 99.80 again. So basically the exact same price. I mean, I guess it's pushed that way a little bit more, but we're still trading right around here. You can see the tick there. So Alibaba, it's your trade of the day. We got lucky with some news, but the key thing is, and I'm going to do this over and over again, it's why we have Meta 166. When you're breaking above some of these levels, especially on a daily chart, and you've had good momentum, yesterday was a big day, not too many red candles in here, big momentum. I liked Alibaba pushing through 95, and then we get the news story elevating this thing through 100.
Great move for Alibaba. There we go. Fed's Bullard still making some comments here. The market coming to the downside a little bit. This one highlighted here specifically, 3.75 to 4%. His target for the end of the year. And then he says, not quite sure what's next after that. His baseline on inflation will be more persistent than what many expect. Recession, not that predictable, just coming out. We're of course, taking recession risks, though, and goes on and on. Anyways, market coming off, Bullard still speaking. I got to go to Wyoming, apparently, guys, because it looks beautiful there.
Does it?
It's beautiful here, man. It's beautiful here.
It's nice here as well.
They should have Toronto. Forget about Jackson Hole.
Wyoming. Why not Jackson Hole? So, look, obviously, we're going to get comments throughout the next couple of days. Bullard tends to... He tends to move the market down every time he talks. I don't know why, but it's certainly going to be true right now. The market has been incredibly strong, up that 1%. I was just watching Nvidia pull back, and I don't know, almost waiting for him to not be talking to take a bounce off 177. That's probably not the right way to go about it, right? Like, just sort of stick to your guns. Have a price area, have an entry, have a bit of a stop. You can't do too much about a random word that might come out of somebody's mouth, but you can certainly play off the momentum and the strong names here. And Nvidia has been one of those. I did have a trailer earlier, but I am looking right now at this consolidation at 177. We'll talk some Tesla. We'll talk some chips. Still a few earnings to get to. And then, of course, the Chinese names have been pretty much insane. A few small caps, but not much by way of that. The squeeze stocks have not been the story, although there was that one IPO, was Mogo.
Mogo, yeah.
Is it Mogo or is it?
I don't even know.
It's
I'm
Mob.
not
It's
even
Mob.
going to.
Mob. Mob.
Oh, that's what it was. It was Mob Deep,
Mob
and it
Deep.
was also with the warrants people were asking
Right,
about. We don't
and we
have them
couldn't-
in our
we didn't have the
in our
warrants.
platform. There, shout out to Mob Deep. Shook, you know, well, I ain't gonna get shook. No shook ones
Shook
here.
ones right there.
They're trying to shake.
Classic
They're
track.
trying to shake me out of my. I won't say WTF to that. Shout out to okay, they just shook me out of CRM. So we take $1 there on the first half of CRM. Right when we went up there to do the trade of the day, we touched 172. It's so funny because just before I went up, I was like, should I put an order at 172? What if it breaks higher and I'm doing this? Then I'll be mad when I get back because I held it this whole time. And it's not this whole time. I took this at 120. I mean, I don't know if we're going to eventually talk about CRM. We probably are. So I just wanted to give you guys that update real quick there. That CRM was a great trade here, and we went to the long, and just talking about it as it tries to break that 50 period, we wound up getting out there. So a little too early probably on the out of that trade, but we will go over some of these plays. I just wanted to go over that one because you may or may not seeing it on the bottom there as Neil has AVYA and Oxy, and I'm just long into CRM as we get ready for what is tomorrow. I can't wait till we show that. I mean, I don't know if we're going to show that graphic, but it was pretty hot fire there, that spicy trades graphic. The only thing I have is this.
Fire it up. I know, there's a really cool one.
There is a really cool one. No, it's not on our board unless you got it. They can trigger it. But,
Are we going to get that?
no, they could probably just hit it. I think that'd be really cool. It doesn't have to hit it now. But tomorrow at this time, Neil, our days or our minutes are numbered because we are going to be doing
Not mine. I'm
the
good.
Spicy Trade Hot Ones Challenge.
I'm good.
I'll be good. I mean, I'm hoping I'll be good.
I want to know what Fahad's eating right now.
I think I'll be Fahad. I think he's crushing some pizza, right, Fahad? Donut. Which donut?
You went to
Honey
Tim
dip.
Hortons, bro? You didn't tell anybody? Fahad went to Tim Hortons. He didn't say anything to anybody, man. I'm just saying.
He's just one of those undercover
I know,
dudes,
it's
man.
cool. It's fine.
He's feeling it. He's
see what's
feeling
up
that. What's
tomorrow.
up? Shout out to Fahad there. Yeah, regardless of him not buying us any donuts, tomorrow I believe Fahad will be on the desk as well, and we're going to hopefully have
He's gonna
some
be eating
Prad,
wings too, baby.
Prad Stradamus will be here tomorrow as well, and we're going to do the Hot Ones Challenge tomorrow, Brendan. You are on watch, Brendo. Apparently, you're the guy to watch out for.
I will definitely not win. Let's just put it that way. Fed's Bullard has left the CNBC stage. So that was quick and brief and over for Bullard. But here we go. This was the last comment that he made here. After the pandemic, they set out on a path of asset buying that was overbroad, you think? Anyways, he's done. So hopefully this market will calm down a little bit here. Let's talk about a few things that we were discussing, as we mentioned in this morning. All eyes on Tesla, obviously. Coming off the split, ends up being a sell the news kind of event.
This is what happened with maybe not as much Amazon, but definitely with
Tesla?
Definitely with Alphabet. Oops, you cannot zoom back too far. But definitely with Alphabet, that's what happened. And all of the strength ended up being in that pre-market trade. Obviously, you're going to have crazy action off the open, but it was solidified above 303. If you remember yesterday, it was like 910, 911 was about that high, so 303 to 304. So it was opening up, challenging the high of the day yesterday, holding support up there. It did try, had a couple of scalps in there, and then we took a stop out early, and then I said I'm going to defend one level and one level alone, and that was 300. There was this bounce. It's hard to tell. I have a 3-minute chart up, not a 1 minute. So in that first minute, it bounces off of 300, gives you outs at like ones. I think it got some at like 301.50, but nothing better than this. So you can't really tell. It didn't get back up to 303, 301.50, and then on the way back in, it took out that 300 level, in which case it just absolutely flushed. That was sort of the reversal. Pretty much, I didn't get all the way down to 93, and when I think about it now, it's like that's that 880 level. So it ended up bouncing off of that, and then Tesla has been weak ever since. Sell the news event, certainly, but sometimes it really just comes down to what has it done going into the event, which had been incredibly strong. I guess the 15-minute isn't really going to show you too much of that example, but it had been trending to the upside and made a firm rejection of 945, and then you also rejected like the 200-period moving average. So it's shown signs of pulling back in, that maybe it wasn't going to have the juice. It tried several times to break the high this morning, but the sellers certainly got the best of it, and it's been a little bit sideways ever since. It was one volume spike, like a big one, at about, I want to say it was at 117 or so, but since then they've managed to sell it off. I want to see if they can do that again, because I tried buying it on that little dip and that spike to see if it would sustain the move, but the volume just immediately died down. So it was kind of random at 117 or so.
Yeah, that spike actually got your boy out. We'll go Mamma Mia on that one. It's pizza day here. Oh, I put out the tweet about what was being served for lunch today. You can probably find that out on my Twitter. But yeah, that spike got me out, man. We took out the 200 period. It ripped up to that upside there and basically just took out 295. I mean, 295 was going to be my out. Obviously, I wish it was 296 because then we would still be in. But I mean, Tesla, again, big time for me today. Couldn't be happier with the way we traded this. It broke back down through 300. I mean, you could always wish that you had the bottom outs, but we're not going to count on those all the time. But short through 300, short again on the reload, out, all the way down. Short again on a 297 break, which we really liked. That didn't even come close to going against us. That just went all the way down, 295 almost instantly on that break. Then a reload there at VWAP again. The only time it's ever tested VWAP, your boy was sitting there to get more short at 298, and then we took that all the way down. This cracked down to 292. This is where we were like, we still think it's going. I thought I could see a 290 handle. And then unfortunately, instead of getting out, I mean, realistically, these were good outs here. 293, should have done that. But we do give up the ghost there, give up the $2, and then just punch out on that volume spike back up to the upside. I thought it was going to be possibly a trend change. We were above the 200. We were above the 50 and not above VWAP, of course. But I didn't trust this VWAP because our charts didn't reprice, even though it's only 50 periods. Actually, I don't know, volume weight, I got to find out what the setting I have on this is, but it's just a 1 minute chart, so look where it came from. Anyways, doesn't matter. Long story short, takes out 295, we got out. Probably would have been a great reload spot, and I feel like if you are going to be short Tesla, you can be right now. There's no need not to be against that 295.50. That's really the trade there for Tesla. But we mentioned it yesterday, man. I kept saying it, and I made sure that we talked like this because I always screw up the saying, and I'm probably going to do it again. But what you want to do is, it's news. So it's buy the rumor, sell the news, right? And so today was news day. So the last couple of days we had Tesla starting to bump up here. I can't really show it to you on our charts because they don't split adjust, but Tesla was up. You guys saw it up to what, 940, so on and so forth, bouncing its head yesterday off 9 again. And then today, obviously, you're seeing the pullback down that 1.24%. Tesla was more aggressive than the market the last 3 or 4 days. And today, you're obviously seeing almost the complete opposite, minus versus plus 1%. So Tesla sort of does the dance today as expected and starts to head to the downside.
All right, here's Nvidia back to 2.8 right now, coming off the highs a little bit with the market. But what negative earnings report, what gap down were we talking about this morning? Because all is well, apparently, guys, for Nvidia this afternoon.
Yeah, it's going crazy. I'll get to like the dark pool wicks that just got me in and out there a couple times. But Nvidia, the report, it wasn't good, but then remember they did sort of lead with this, I forget how many days ago or weeks ago it was, when they scared everybody in the market with their revised guidance. So when they missed today, I feel like at least a little bit of it was anticipated. This was a simple case of look at the momentum. It was just, forget about the open, right? Like you actually got crushed in the aftermarket and then gapped further down in the morning off 165. And it got so far that I was looking at 165 for potential longs. That's before I even sit down in the morning, so it wasn't even close to that. It was actually breaking out from 166 by the time I was looking at it. And once it started going, my first look was, okay, well, that 171.50 area, and then we'll go right back to your daily where you're bouncing off of the 50 period, and then just that 171.50, which had been a little bit of a lower high, higher low, sorry, I should say, in terms of support on the 15-minute chart. I'm looking for a short off that level. It did bounce down initially, and I'll flip back to the 3 for you. It did flip down a little bit. It got down into 170, and at this point, and we're going to talk about something like along this line when it comes to momentum. So I don't want to completely spoil everything here, but you have to start thinking about what the trend looks like. So you can have a key level all you want, right? And then it bounces, holds trend to the upside. At that point, it's just take the stop out at 171.50 and understand you're now in a bit of a longward trend. So I didn't reverse long here, but I did abandon the notion of the short and look long, at which point it bounced back off that 170.50 in front of 170, and then it was off to the races. The mistake was thinking it wouldn't go past 175. I did say when it got to 178 to the 80 range, I would go for the short, pop the short at 78. Ended up getting trailed out here at 176. And then when it held at 175, I got back into the long, only to be trailed out by that dark pool wick. I tried this breakout at the high of the day a couple of times. It just had no juice to it. So, I mean, I don't know. I think I might have made like 10 cents or something. And then there was just not enough volume to push it through. And then just now, after Bullard stopped talking, I put a bit of a bracket order. This wick got me in the middle of the range. It didn't actually break the range, so I get out when it breaks the bottom. I think Nvidia is more likely at this point to come back down and retest 175. So I'm just going to be patient. Forget about diddling in the middle. Either we retest 175 where the long should be good, or go back up to that high where we like that short at 178, 178 change there. Diddling in the middle, not really worth much of anything here.
No, just like you guys asked for my opinion yesterday, and I agreed with Raider Trader that Nvidia would have a good quarter, be up today. So there you go. There's 3% in your pocket for Nvidia. I wrote down, and we started the day here when we analyzed sort of what our trade ideas were. I didn't have AMD or Nvidia even written down there because I was sort of uncertain. I thought it would probably rally to the upside there, but I didn't trade it. So Nvidia I didn't really look at. But the one trade that I did miss because as I said, we are into BABA, we are into Meta, and we were into Tesla at that time, and I was like, yeah, do I really want to go long more names? But this AMD off that 94 was the one name that we talked about in the pre-market that I really wish I would have hit. That 94 bottom right there should have been had, and it was not. So that was a great take for AMD, and straight fire to the upside, up that 4%. I've been talking about buying SMH for a while and just forgetting about everything else. Just let the index work itself out for you, the ETF I should say. And it's been pretty beat down here. And I just feel like if you like software and you sort of think that, our future is in all this kind of stuff, where's the here it is right here, the one-day chart. I mean, you're seeing Snowflake, big data work, and we need to process this data. And it's just like, as you go, these GPUs are going to continue to be a thing. I mean, no matter what you're buying nowadays has a chip in it. We've heard, and Nvidia also talked about automotive chips coming to be a part of their sort of portfolio as well, a bigger part now, trying to get away from the gaming and the crypto side. So I like this industry. I like some of these spots. You're now above the 50 period. And I've sort of been saying that I've been buying SMH on the way down, which I have been. Haven't really bought anything recently up here, but now that we get through all of these earnings, I feel like you can buy SOX or you could buy SMH and just watch out for these semis, because I think there's a lot of upside here to go, especially if this market gets its footing again and we don't dip back down. This is a sector and a spot that I want to be buying in continuously. So definitely a nice little win today for anybody trading any of these semis.
Yeah, really interesting, important area for the market overall. Coming tomorrow, obviously, Fitcher Powell's comments. Then next Friday, guys, we get non-farm payrolls already for August as well, which will be another, obviously, market-moving event. Speaking of Snowflake, you mentioned there, back to the upside, just an absolute monster today. They blew out their Q2 revenue estimates. They also raised their outlook for full year 23. There's Piper, there's Jeffries down here, BTIG, 3, 4, 5 at least. Price target increases on the stock today. What a rally here for Snow.
Just quickly, I want to go to Snow because this is it's one of those fun charts where I get to show you something pretty epic for myself anyways, and it's not a good thing. This is CL, this is crude oil futures here to the downside, just broke and made a fresh low of the day. I didn't really get involved into Oxy until it broke 74 and then is sort of holding beneath that 74 level, reloading in front of 74, taking it out in front of that low of the day. And this is, again, just like that daily chart that failed breakout at the previous high. So once it's back below 74, sort of favor the shorts for that failed break. But Snowflake, huge revenue growth, obviously, I think Tony was talking about how they're overpriced and they don't even make money yet. But their growth was absolutely monstrous. And when a lot of people bet against something, thinking, it shouldn't be this high, it shouldn't be bought up, because quite frankly, in this environment, they're not making money. This is not something that should be valued. Well, when there's a bit of a surprise and the growth is even more impressive than expected on the revenue side, then you're going to get something like this sometimes. It's like 22% to the upside. I was looking for the dip buy into the 185 area, and then this happened. So I got the dip initially right into 185, looked like it was good, played up to 187, threw my stop in, and on the way back down, stopped out. And I say this over and over again, but it just bears mentioning. Like, when it's a stock that you trade normally, like if it's, like we'll trade Oxy, and when we trade Oxy, we're a little more involved in it, or Neo, where you're laser focused because you're used to scalping those types of things. Not usually going to miss that second or third entry when it holds the low, and then you just sort of re-engage back into the long. But then after it wiped everybody out, it continues back to the upside. It doesn't matter. Like, I can't complain too much because at least I was able to get something out of it. But the real mistake is you allow that to settle back down, and there's 10 o'clock where you're getting it back in that 187 area, that little support, and then it just only trends back into the upside. At this point, I'm kind of looking toward, if the market were to come down, I think there's a short to be had in this thing, probably if it either fails 195 or gets to 200. But it's frustrating to have wanted the dip buy. It goes exactly to your price. You kind of pick it up at the open, take the scalp out and then get shaken out of it, which is going to happen from time to time. I mean, the reverse of that is it breaks that floor, and then I'm just sitting there sort of holding it and not having a stop, and then your day's ruined. So I never want to do that. I'll always err on the side of caution, especially with a name that volatile. But a good look for Snowflake. I do feel up at 23%, chasing the long up here is a little bit difficult to do, at least for this afternoon, with the market still testing toward that high of the day rather than breaking it.
Sensitive topic here because we would be infinitely up a hell of a lot more if I just stuck with my own freaking handwriting. Look what I put down here, Snowflake, 184. Give it to 180 as a bottom. Could target 200 today. I mean, I literally, as if these notes were made right now, but they were not. This was tweeted out obviously at 8:29 this morning and written much earlier than that. I mean, just look at what we're talking about here. Dip down to 184, target 200. Okay, so let's just pretend we didn't write that at 8 o'clock. Look where Snowflake dips down to 184, exactly. Right? So get to 184, and then look where we are right now, 197. So, I mean, to have not had a trade in Snowflake is really bad for me because we definitely targeted this one. It was pretty easy, almost just as easy as just putting the order in and sticking there. I have no real reason why I missed this trade. Should not have missed it. Like I said, I'm having the best day I've had all month, so I'm pretty happy with it. But now that I see this trade, it's like, duh, like how did we not, I mean, Neil just explained his trade, but like how did I not get into that name down there? Oh man, and I mean, I know why. I know exactly why, because I was short Tesla and the market was tanking, and all I was doing was looking at levels for Tesla. But darn it, I obviously have the ability to trade multiple symbols at once. I do it for you guys every day here, so this one's definitely on me. A pretty easy trade there, Brendan, down to 184, 185 for Snowflake. Should have had it, didn't have it. And like I said, if we'd still had that segment that we used to have, most frustrating stocks today, it would just be this one because I'm actually just realizing it now. I didn't even go back to Snowflake. So in what is now frustrating for me, Snowflake, a great trade, and we nailed it again. And not only that, man, but we nailed this yesterday. At this time, I was like, Snowflake's potential to beat this. They've got a lot of upgrades over the last couple months out of nowhere. And then Snowflake, boom, comes up today, up 23%. So I hope a lot of you are able to make a lot of money, not just on the sticky note today, but also on some of the stuff we talked about yesterday at this time. So Snowflake, for sure. You feel like you're at a carnival sometimes with these names, but hey, they opened up today. Great trading on Snowflake, up 23%.
Yeah, huge move. Well, not huge day, but a good day anyways for Amazon, guys, trying to get back to day highs right now, 2.25% for Amazon. We were wondering about this. TDoc was up about 5% in the pre-market. Teladoc fades. Amazon, however, as I said, back to day highs here. We had that plug news early on this morning, but no reaction from Amazon, and there wouldn't be on that. But nice look here for Amazon today, guys. Back to day highs.
The frustrating thing is sometimes when you write like a key level and you're only looking to go one way off of it, you should go both. So I said, look, the only way that this, because I didn't think the Amazon news was going to do anything for Amazon. Amazon was probably just going to move the way it would have normally. But there was an opportunity. And by the way, Tilray's double topped at 420. So I'm actually just paying for shorts here because I see it. I know a lot of people are like, oh, look at Tilray. The weed stocks are getting tops here. I am paying for shorts because I see that double top that it just rejected at 420. But on Teladoc, I'm only ever interested if a stock gets going that's a squeeze play. So I said to myself, okay, well, it's got a short interest on it. If it wants to break out, I'll pull the daily up. If it wants to try to break out at 36, break out on that 50 period moving average, or at least try to test it, then fair enough. I'm interested if it tries to break out. But sometimes when it doesn't break, you got to think about the other direction. I was not at all even considering that, yeah, if it gaps up on the news and doesn't take out the high, that it would just fall. That's the other side of having a key level in there. So it rejects that 36 and only falls to the downside. But that's part of why for like squeeze plays, I usually only want them in one of two ways. That's breaking out of a resistance level, or that's bouncing off a support level. Because it's not as fundamental. You want everybody to sort of be looking at that price and interested in the name, and the volume wasn't there for TDOC. Had it broken, fine, there could have been something. But every now and then it's just better off to ignore the story unless the volume picks up and gives you a reason to get into the trade. Oh, should I do that?
The only trade that I didn't even look at TDOC today. I mean, I did talk about Amazon down to 133, and I was actually looking at this name, so this was one that just never came through. It bounces off 134 today for Amazon. Yeah, so right there, 133 was sort of the bottom that I was trying to peg out, but that didn't happen. So, and again, on that break, this could have been a long as well. We're trying to look for daily breakouts here. This is just a 20-minute chart, and you know, you've barcoded. It kind of looks a little bit like Alibaba, but I guess that break could have been had at 136. So. You know, and I just see someone talking there on the chat too. I don't know who it was, but it was like, you know, when you look back, sometimes hindsight is just so obvious. And yeah, that's the problem. It's like you look back, and that's why I said like I wasn't frustrated until I looked back at Snow now, realizing that we did hit that level. And there's going to be some days, honestly, like someone said, why don't you guys talk about your loser? Okay, I have one losing trade on today, Plug. I mean, and that's that, right? And we took Plug early on that note, and we actually didn't lose pretty much anything. Like what I lost on Plug was 5% of what we made on Meta, was 10% of what we made on Tesla, or less than 10%. So we'll talk about it though, but here's Plug. Not any real share. I mean, we had a decent amount of shares, but it was still in the pre-market. They got that deal with Amazon again, so a nice move up for Plug Power. And again, yesterday I told you. Yesterday at this time I was showing you all my trades. We had a bad afternoon yesterday, trying to go just back and forth. And I was talking with a few traders about this during lunchtime as well. But there it is, breaking through 31, out at 31.78. So some of these trades were 60, 70 cents worth of a profit, and then there's 30.50 out. So long at 31, long at 31.20, some outs at 50, some outs there at 70s or 75s, I believe it was, right there, and then a dump down of 50. So, made roughly 50 cents or so, but we did hold a little bit more, probably about 60 or 70%, because I looked and I said I'm negative on it. So, and we got out of that, and we hadn't really seen Plug Power since then. So, Plug Power on my watch, but that was another name. Just in case you guys were asking, we've made Alibaba. That was the trade of the day. I'm in this money right now. CRM is in the money $1. We talked about that. The Meta trades. What's up next? CRM. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But there's Meta. I mean, there's no losing trade there. And then Peloton was actually really good, bouncing off 1080 until eventually it broke, but it did go back to 1120, so not enough money made on that one. And then what I think could have been the trade of the day, but again, we just search it based on what's going on YouTube, but could have been Tesla. I mean, Tesla's been really done nicely as well. And that's all my trades, man. So in trying to be as honest as possible, if anyone wants to apply, you can send your emails, or send an email to marketing@tradertv.live. We have a prop floor behind us with a bunch of traders, some in live, some paper trading. But either way, man, we're here to trade, teach you guys, and have a lot of fun. So that's just a quick review of all of my trades there, Brendo.
Just seeing Oxy. Highest level since 2008, is that right? No, that's not right. Come on, CNBC. CRM. Let's talk about CRM here to wrap things up. We got a lot coming this afternoon. As I said, Danielle Shea going to swing by, give us her take on Salesforce as well. Mark Benioff saying this: we, the customers, becoming more measured in the way we buy. Sales cycles get stretched. They started seeing this back in July, so they're pointing towards the possibility of a further slowdown to come.
I don't know. I think, Sean, if you had, I don't know. If
Oh,
you
I did.
had,
I mean, I closed it, but yeah, Oxy had been over $100 before.
Yeah, I was just gonna, because Oxy's been a long time ago, not that long ago.
It might be like the biggest quarter or something like that since 2008, or maybe it's price related to oil.
It hasn't been at this price in a while. Like, it hasn't been up above 74, 75 in a while. But it's
the problem is, I mean, we've already talked about the RAM in our computers, which apparently is really good. I don't know why it keeps getting.
I have no idea what it is.
I don't know either. But apparently we have good computers here. And if I open up like a monthly or yearly chart or something, and it tries to draw data all the way back, sometimes no bueno on that one.
On
so
Chrome,
I'm going to blame it on the rain.
That was falling.
Milli Vanilli.
They don't know Milli Vanilli.
They don't?
Well, I don't. Many people probably don't know Milli Vanilli. But
Smash the like button.
Were they ever epic?
Because you got to blame it on something.
If you
look, if you're
gonna pull that off, you've got to go all in. And they went all in. Rest in peace to, because I think
one of them. I don't know if one of them or both.
One of them did pass away.
It can't be both.
Salesforce is not. I'm not making a pun. That's not a good one. I was going to make like a not left for dead, but that's not a good thing to make fun of. They're down 5%, but that doesn't really tell the story for CRM today. I always hate when you do the whole, oh yeah, but the stock is down on the session. That doesn't tell you what's happened since the open, because it has only gone up since that open. We've all these crazy wicks that are all over the place, pretty much at yesterday's close. So all you're seeing is late reports of yesterday's close. But once it got past 169, it's essentially been breaking out. It wasn't that bad of a quarter, I think, compared to some of the other reports that we've seen. And all you're seeing reflected is the buyers, like the rest of the market, floating into this one. I had one breakout long, hate breakouts sometimes at that time of day. It's about 11:50, got into it, took a little bit of profit, and then got back out for the hit, and then was not willing to take the dip by 167. It was just entirely too deep of a pullback for me to like that move. As a matter of fact, I was considering fading it off 170, and glad I did not do that. At this point, I think CRM feels more of a fade if we get back to 172, if only because we're making that lower high in the NASDAQ, and the overall mood to the stock was to that downside. So I kind of feel like after it broke out, it already put in not a death candle, but one big pullback. If it can't get back to the high, I think it might be a fade off that 172. But we haven't really seen that yet. And I do have my eyes on, of course, oil a little bit here, and still Nvidia. And then I do want to get to, we'll probably get back over to Tesla at some point. We already talked about it once, but I think it's got some moves in it just yet, because it's still testing some pretty key levels when you go back to the pre-split prices.
I see some more hot songs from Milli Vanilli in there. There's so many, man.
Two.
I mean, I actually have like a little playlist, Milli Vanilli. So
you have a Milli Vanilli playlist?
Not really. I mean, they're in my thing. They're part of a playlist, like an older songs playlist.
I like that,
there.
Man.
I have Color Me Bad, a whole bunch. I mean, you don't. I mean, the jams.
Yeah, I mean,
the jams are.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Okay, so Salesforce there. Look, Mark Benioff, I still consider one of the better CEOs around there. I really like Salesforce. I've been buying this name for a while, so it is sort of talking up my book a little bit, but we don't really do that too much here, because trading it is a day trade. So we're just going to trade that. And again, Neil and I have to be flat at the end of every single day. So any comment that we generally have here is reflecting on positions that we have in the middle of the day. So this is 170.25. All I really did was watch this thing go, and it started to bounce off some of these levels. That 166 held beautifully there, held again on the pullback, and then I was just watching it. I mean, if I zoom in a little bit closer here, I was just watching it respect this 50 period the whole way. We're above on the 50 period, we're above on the 200 and on VWAP. So when it pulled back, and again, during lunchtime, you wasn't looking at it, but there we pulled back to the 50 period, which was 170, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go long here at 170.25, and I'm gonna get out if it breaks 170. That's 25 cents worth of risk. We're now in the money $1, and we already took out $1, and it went in the money $1.75. So we went like 6-to-1 or something on our risk to reward ratio there. And now I'm quite frankly just holding it. I mean, I'd like to see it break back down below 170. I'd like to be wrong on this name. And if we are, that's fine. We took a dollar clean right there on that, what I thought was breaking the 50 period. We right now are breaking the 50 period. So maybe this is the out, man. I mean, maybe we just say forget about it and we get out at 170.60. Let's do that. If we break below this 170.60 area right here, I mean, I got to use support and resistance. I'm not going to sit here in the afternoon and like hold on to something and just like bleed money away. We're at the highest spot. I have 0 LFT right now. Like LFT is lost from the top, and the only losing trade I had was that plug, and that happened at 9:30. So every trade therefore on has been a winner. Look at the market starting to fall down. I got to get this order out right now, but that's CRM, and I want to get out if we break through this 170.60.
Regardless of your experience level, if you've been involved in the market this year, you got to be momentum trading. It's been one of the most profitable, if not the most profitable, trading strategies this year. New traders, listen up, because it's also a difficult skill to master, guys. So we're going to focus on new traders here and talk momentum trading strategies that you can get started with.
Absolutely, and I think one of the first things for momentum trading is picking a direction that it's going to go, because the whole idea behind momentum is that you're not really range trading. You're trading things that are breaking the range, continuing to go, that are outpacing the market, that are churning through, that are going parabolic. So I'll use an example of one that's doing that today, and not necessarily about the trades that I had on it, because quite frankly, what I'm going to show you is how it could have been a little bit better for me using a very simplistic strategy. So first things first, there was a catalyst here, and Nvidia did have earnings, and yes, it did gap down. But you'll see in the morning, all you see is 165 bottom at about 6 a.m. and then about 7 a.m. a 166 bottom. And then by the time you get to about 9 o'clock, you're holding support at about 166.5. So you're getting a series of higher lows, and it's continuously breaking out of these consolidations. And by the time you get to the open, and I'll zoom in here, all you see is another higher low and instantly a breakout. So you've already got a stock which is clearly trending up by any measure that you would have. And then that first move on volume, when the market comes in, you'll see it make a fresh high, put in that high at about 171.50, and then dip back in. And it goes down to about 169.70. I've drawn the line here. And this is where you can start doing a very simplistic style strategy, where it's established a bit of a range for you. And that is just look at the next time it breaks that high, or it tests that high, rejects it at 172, and then holds above this 169, and matter of fact holds at 170. Once it's done that, now, okay, fine, I was buying a dip in there, but let's go with a simpler strategy, which is just the next breakout. Breakout of that 172, after it's held that higher low, that's why you like the breakout, and then you see it just go right to the upside to almost a 175, so 72 to 75, pretty much clean, and then you get the next consolidation. It rejects 175, pulls back, holds this line here. The first time it rejects, it holds 174, it holds it again. The next breakout is then valid at 175, and then you see how cleanly it runs to the upside. So what you're essentially doing is taking the break, waiting for that first real pullback. When it does so off that even 175, or the second pullback, you then see, does it hold that initial candle? Whether it's a 3 or 5 minute, it does. That makes the next breakout valid to the next stop, and then you see it continue to go. Now, I didn't even use that for a re-entry point. So I'm telling you what I could have done to still be buying that one when it broke 175. It's a relatively simple strategy that can get you involved in a trend to the upside, as opposed to just sitting there watching it, figuring how can I buy it higher if I don't have it out. Well, this gives you an opportunity when it consolidates or pulls back on how you can get in the next break.
Yeah, I think momentum has been so important, and I mean, Nvidia today, I mean, a lot of the time you're gonna have to have catalysts as well, earnings, things like that, to try to figure out like what stock is going to have momentum, if any, and then once you're looking at that name, then you can hit it out of the park. Meta today, no earnings, no nothing, but we've noticed patterns, and I think pattern recognition obviously is something that you wanna look out for as well. So forget about what happened today, but look at the last 2 days, right? So you're gonna have Meta right here, right? This is the open 2 days ago. Big move to the upside, right? And then yesterday, Meta off the open, big move to the upside and kept going. Look at the continuation. And then you have today, big time movement to the upside again. That's 3 straight days with Meta starting to blow everything up, right? So what I look at when I'm looking at something to say, hey, Is there going to be some kind of momentum? So we look at past patterns. So we had it there 3 days in a row, nice little upside moves. And what we were looking at was a few things. One, the break of a pre-market high rate here, 165.50. But let things base down. And this is what I wanted to show you about momentum. We were already looking at Meta today. And I don't have my trades on, but you're gonna see them in a minute. Look at it, try to develop a base here, right? And then all of a sudden, if you're gonna say to yourself, I want to be long this name like Neil was saying, so where do I get in, right? The first thing to look for would be that momentum play. Go the right way. Well, I'm not going to wait for momentum to go to the downside. We've just seen it 2 or 3 days in a row go to the upside, so I'm only looking long. So the key for me was a pre-market break here of 165.50. We actually, on our sticky note, because we were already looking at this pre-market, we had 166, just an even dollar level looking for it. So what we started to do was build our positions down here, waiting for, and quite frankly, hoping. I mean, we don't know if the market's going to take off one way or the other, but we do know that if it does start to go to the upside, we want the Meta long on a break because we've seen continuation before. So let me turn on now the fills that we got. So if you're going to see here for Meta today, I mean, I could have used Alibaba. There's a few different names, but look what we started to do. The first break right there that we took early at 940 was because we based out there, and I thought to myself, hey, 164, 165 bottom here is potentially going to be the bottom. So when we had a pre-market break there, we went long. But then look, it fell right back in to this area of the base support. So then we got long again, and then all of a sudden, once we were right, it took off to the upside. You can't see, but I have a tick right here as well. This is actually the biggest trade, a 166 break, and then it just started to get excited to the upside where we took this all the way out at 168. So this fill down here is 164, 165, 168, a bunch of outs up here at 167.50 as well. So definitely paying attention to pattern recognition, Brendan, and then waiting for these bases to develop. And then, hey, look, the market tanks, you get out at 164, taking about $1 or so hit. Market rips like it did, and you can get rewarded because you're on a name that has momentum.
The fact that with momentum, you can let the market come to you on the way out and not have to, be sitting there aggressively punching out of your position. That's the key to momentum. Being patient, even though momentum itself kind of provide some urgency in the trade. So there we go. A couple of great looks at how to approach momentum trading in 2022. Just saw a note on Altria boosting their dividend by 4.4%. So Altria just popped up on some volume there, guys. We're going to get to just setting up with Danielle Shea coming up. We'll get her take on Salesforce as well.
Yes, can't wait to hear that.
We just got out of Salesforce.
Oh, really?
Well, not in our long-term account, but it broke that level. That's all. It broke the shelf there. We went long Salesforce, 170.25. Our first out was 171.25 on that 50 period, and then it breaks that shelf at 170.70. So what was at one point a bigger win. Yeah, but we'll hear what Danielle Shea has to say about it.
It's kind of every now and then, it's like, not every now and then, at least once a day, Brendan will say something and it's like, well, or it'll trigger a thought and it's like, oh yeah, we'll talk about Salesforce with Danielle. And then that stock does something in that particular moment. It just feels like that's always true.
Go ahead. You don't know this. I'm just going to say about Danielle Shea because it's Packers-Chiefs tonight.
Oh, is that the preseason game today?
Yes, there's a preseason game, Packers-Chiefs. So we'll watch out for that. I don't know if anyone's, because this is what, we were going back and forth. Is this their third game or their second game? I don't know.
It's a preseason.
They basically, starters will play. I don't think Aaron Rodgers, he's not going to be stepping on the field, I would imagine. If it is, it's going to be one set of plays.
I don't know if Danielle's listening right now, but if she is, please make sure that if I'll probably say this anyways when you're on, but if Kansas City beats Green Bay, can you please talk a lot of trash? Because
yeah, I think I don't know if she's the trash talking type, but definitely. She might be. I don't know. Maybe she is. But I think that we have to keep it all within context because preseason. I'm going to check the schedule, though, because the wife put everything into the W's a W. I mean, I'll take a preseason win. Do you know that Baltimore hasn't lost a preseason game? Their record is something ridiculous in the last 10 years or something.
It's like 20 games or 30 games in a row.
It's absolutely ridiculous. But, I mean, we are a trading show, so, we
get back to the market in a second.
We can get back to the market.
I got to watch out for Oxy here because like oil's making a bit of a bounce back, but Oxy, and just gonna pull it up here because I was actually gonna say something, but you were on Salesforce, that's why I didn't say anything. But we're right back to this 74 area on Oxy, so I'm right back to shorting in front of it, and we'll get some out if it does want to hold this. But if we break the range, I got to get out of Oxy because you're still on the lows over in oil futures, and you haven't really broken resistance there. Yet Oxy wants to break resistance, and sometimes Oxy is stronger than those futures. And speaking of, Daniel is now ready. Sorry, Brendan is ready with Danielle. I almost called Brendo Dashel there. But let's go to the desk. We've got Danielle Shea.
I mean, it doesn't matter about me. Let's make sure Danielle is ready, and then we can bring her on. There we go. Great to see you, as always. Welcome back.
Thank you. Good to see you, too.
It's a busy week. I'll let you do all the trash talking you want in a couple of minutes here. We'll try and stick to the market a little bit. Anyways, we can talk about energy. I wanted to mention CRM, obviously, off the top. Big move down initially this morning. It's working its way back to the upside as we speak. Not a great quarter. I mean, here's another, quote unquote tech company talking about headwinds to come, more issues to come. Give us your take on CRM, where it's at now, maybe what we should look for in the coming weeks here.
Yeah, of course. So, looking at the CRM chart, I mean, honestly, I like this company. I own the stock. I think that they've done really well on earnings for the past couple quarters. I mean, what's crazy to me is that if you look at this chart, last quarter, they beat by what? They were estimated to make 34 cents a share. They made 98 and they gapped up 11%. This quarter, it was roughly the same. They were estimated to make 37 cents. They made $1.19 and now they gapped down 6.9%. Now, I know a lot of it has to do with the guidance, but honestly, I mean, I think underlying fundamentals are still strong. I like the stock. I think it's a bear market buy. I think that we're seeing buyers come in already. I know that the chart pattern is broken down, but I think that overall, we just look for this to kind of trade higher, at least up into this area of resistance where it fell from, about 176.
Let's shift gears, talk energy here a little bit. We've seen more volatility, obviously, coming back into the oil markets. Crude closing on session lows, essentially, today, down 2.5%. There was a bit of a sell-off there. Where is this market from your stance? Is there a trade at this time, and which direction are you looking?
So, when you're looking at crude, it basically just rallied directly up into the 200 simple. You have a key area of resistance at 95. I think it's pretty typical for it to fail on that first test, back upwards into 95. But, everything that I'm looking at in energy, I think it breaks out and I think it goes higher. We're going to be getting into the fall/winter season here. If you look at XLE is incredibly strong. XLE's broken up above resistance. We had consolidation. We're breaking out. The energy stocks, I think, are the best looking stocks in the market right now. You've got CVX that is breaking out to the upside. You've got XOM. You've got Oxy. So I know that crude is down, today. It's definitely a little bit volatile, but I'm still betting on these tickers to the upside in the coming months with volatility on, an intraday basis.
We had a lot of focus on Tesla this morning coming off the split. You made a really great comment. We were going back and forth a little bit earlier this morning in that anytime we've seen this in the past, it's been a very tricky kind of way to navigate this stock. Ends up being, as we said, sell the news kind of event. I mean, there's never a dull moment, I guess, in Tesla. Now that it's back to below 300 as we sit here, what do you make of Tesla?
I love Tesla and I'm happy to have some more shares, but I mean, I think we're seeing a sell the news come through. If it can stay up above this key area right around $300, then I think there's a shot for it to hold there and launch. But unfortunately, right now we're sitting at 291. We've broken down below support. And I think if you look at the rest of the companies that have split recently, I mean, Google, it's sold off after the split. You have Amazon. I mean, this was a pretty key example of buy the rumor, sell the news. I mean, Amazon rallied into the split and then immediately gave back that entire rally post split within a week and a half. So, I mean, you guys know me, I love Tesla and, I'm always going to be a shareholder, but I am concerned right here about the sell the news situation. Our traders have been looking at potentially shorting it. If you do want to short it, I would target 280 and then after that 275. And I do think that we're seeing the short triggers coming through right now.
Snowflake up 23% at this point today. Did we lose her? Oh, okay. You left my monitor, Danielle, so I wasn't sure if you were still there. Snowflake, better part of 23% here today, coming off a monster report, as we said. Was there a trade on the options side of things for Snow going into this report? Kind of came out of nowhere.
Oh, absolutely. So, I think that this is a trade that you guys would really like as day traders. So here is what I do for these kinds of tickers on earnings. Well, really any ticker on earnings. What you want to do is you want to look at the market maker expected move prior to earnings. Okay. In the options market, what they do is basically they're going to price that in the options chain. So for example, let's look at Dollar Tree that, see which one's reporting after the close today. We can look at MRVL. Use that one for an example, okay? So what they do in the options market is they put the market maker expected move right here. So for MRVL, it's going to be $4.29. Basically, what you want to do for a day trade the day after earnings is you want to watch stocks after the close and look for things that are moving 1.5 to 2 times the expected market maker move. That's how you can tell that it's a pretty massive move coming through, and usually you're going to see a post earnings move. So with Snowflake, for example, that was about 1.5 times the expected move. And then what we do in the options market is we look for an opening range. You can use a 5 or a 15-minute opening range. And then what you want to do is you want to look for high volume and you want to get long when you see a breakout of that first 15-minute range. So Snow definitely fit within the category of what we like to call the 2x move, which is where you have twice that market maker expected move and then some continuation. So that's always the setup that I'm looking for. It is a day trading setup, and usually it'll come up, 2 or 3 times throughout the day, depending on how many companies are reporting earnings.
Right, now that we got that out of the way, it's time for more important information, and that is, it is your birthday, and we would be amiss if we didn't say happy birthday, Miss Danielle Shea. I hope you have a wonderful day, and you also have a huge fan with you that wants to come on the show to say hi. So,
do you want to come on the show? Come on. He wasn't sure if he was going to be allowed. He's a huge Tesla fan as well, and he's learning how to trade stock. Aren't you?
Mm-hmm. There he is. So what?
You want to say hi?
Hi.
Hey, what's up,
Hi.
dude? My dude. I had my son on Barron the other day, and he made a stock pick. And you know what his pick was? His pick was Microsoft. And you know why his pick was Microsoft, my friend? Because he plays a lot of Minecraft. Is that something that you also play?
I play Minecraft and Fortnite.
Minecraft and Fortnite? That's right.
And Roblox.
And Roblox.
Ooh.
Okay, so I think you're just a
Mostly
generic.
Minecraft and Fortnite.
Yeah, kids love that. First of all, we want to say a big happy birthday to your mom.
Yeah,
So I'm going to hit the
happy
confetti
birthday.
right here for that blowing up right now. So happy birthday, Miss Danielle Shea. And, thank you for your continuous content that you've given to us. I know we talked about oil last week as well down there. Nice little move up there. And congratulations on all the calls you've been making. And a big happy birthday. And just for that reason, I hope the Kansas City Chiefs win tonight.
No, you don't.
So quiet, Neil. Yes, I do. Hope for that. And a big shout out to your son. So you want to trade one day as well, like Mummy does, or what's your story?
I'm going to try to be in the stock market with my mom and dad.
Attaboy,
That's
attaboy.
awesome.
And if that doesn't work, I'm just going to be a YouTuber.
What was that, Danielle? I missed that.
He said he wants to be in the stock market with his mom and dad, and if that doesn't work, he's going to be a YouTuber. They're the best YouTubers out there. Did you know that?
You're hired.
Yeah, if you want to come to Canada here in Toronto, we definitely have a role for you. We are looking for junior analysts and things like that. So let me know. Your mom can message me if you're ever up in here. And we would love, and I've said this to your mom as well, we'd love to have you, in the office. You can come see our studio, come see our setup, and then you'll see what YouTube's all about, my friend.
That'd be pretty cool, huh? Mm-hmm. Thanks, guys.
No
Go
problem.
Tesla.
All right, Miss Danielle Shea, thank you again, and a big happy birthday. We always love having you on. And again, a big congratulations.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Ciao. All right. Wow, that was a treat. So we got we got back to back.
Everybody loves Tesla.
The future is bright, as they say, and it's always great when kids are in this game. However, I kind of give my kids the opposite advice. Like, I don't want them in this game. This is frustrating. I'm losing my hair. I'm getting more grays. I got to deal with this Randy guy here.
You don't even have that many gray hairs.
Yo, Randy, man, give me that bull back. I switched that.
Yo, what the?
It was a bear earlier on in the day, remember? And I switched it over to a bull, and then it got hijacked. Remember,
not
this is
with
the
this
same thing that he
again.
was using to get those cookies the last time. Thanks there.
For the record, do you see how dusty that thing is? And you're touching food with that?
This is. Yeah, you got it. Okay.
Yeah, I
this
mean,
is Randy in the building.
The grabbers for whatever, man. I didn't want to talk. We're trying to say there. What the heck were we just talking about?
I don't know. YouTubers and kids and junior analysts. There they are, right there. No, yeah. That's right. Grab. Yeah. That's what you should do, Randy. Grab like our production team so that everything can get screwed up in the back. But thanks, Randy. Oh, you know what? Maybe we could put Randy on in a second to give us an update on the desk. Like, I'm interested to see how if you have any pictures,
the progress
send them
report?
through, and we'll show people what the new desk looks like here. As I'm not sure if you're hardly working or working hard, but that is Randy coming through one more time.
You know what's jokes? So Jay Freezy's like, yo, Neil's borderline germaphobe, it sounds like. You know what's interesting? Like, I'm not really, but I'm indoctrinated because like both my roommate and my wife are like very, very clean, like very orderly, which by the way is a great way to partner with somebody.
Wrong with that.
And great in university.
I like that.
Having somebody who was obsessed with cleaning, the guy's doing dishes all the time, making sure everything. It was fantastic. I'm not gonna lie because
That's a great
I'm not
benefit.
that person, but I developed those sort of habits when you live with someone like that. The other spoiler, I guess like life hack is when you go to university. If you want to pick a roommate, if you have a chance, engineers are fantastic because they know what's up.
They figure out ways.
Yeah, like we had this whole thing set up where we were getting our cable, and yeah, we had this cable. This is years ago. We had our cable in these townhouses, and it was like us and a couple of guys down the line, and we're all sharing the same thing. And he had it all jury rigged.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, this dude was the man. He brewed his own beer. Like he did everything. The guy was an absolute hero.
Yeah.
Champion, good man, Joe. I love you, brother. But yeah, engineers are great roommates because they're smart as all hell and hook you up to no end. I'm gonna go, and this is probably the first time I'm gonna talk about Bed Bath & Beyond today, outside of maybe at about 8:40, whenever we talked about it in the morning. But there's a volume spike, and it's you're gonna hate this again. Remember 975? Consolidation 975.
I don't think I want to
breakout
remember.
from this consolidation. So this time I'll see if I can't get this in front of VWAP. It's going. So volume spiking. That's what I want to have happen here. So I'll try and get some 990s in. This AVYA, it's the only thing I have on right now. But I think I mentioned this one in the chat, and it's a New York stock. That it was a good bounce off VWAP when I came over to it at about 1 o'clock. It got to the high of the day, and now it just kind of stinks. Like I reloaded it, and I hadn't even been adding to it. It's been holding 145, which is the only thing it's been doing. It's only going sideways. I don't think there's anything to see here, to be honest with you. I think Bed Bath & Beyond actually looks a little bit more interesting here, so I just got into that one. And I just like the fact that it had a big volume spike. It's held VWAP. That was a level of support yesterday as well when we were talking in the afternoon. It was right around that 975 price where it was holding, and that's what it's breaking out from, right up around $10. So if it can hold 75, I'll stick with the long and see if it can get going. Had some trouble, obviously, doing that. And as I said, anytime you play off a level like Oxy, eventually you go to the well and the well runs dry. And that's with oil not really making a big bounce. After futures closed, it didn't really do much. It actually ended on the lows. But once that was closed, Oxy breaking out from that 74 area. I might revisit this if it gets up to like 74, 75. But Oxy for now, we're going to have to give up on that short.
Trying to figure out which picture I want to show of the desk because here
Both of them, they're both nice.
They're all I was kind of just trying to give one that sort of shows like just sort of the depth and everything. Anyways, there's going to be monitors up here. Here's a brand new desk. It's got to get fixed. I think Brendan was saying what's black on around here. What are we going to do there? I don't know what we're going to do, but finishing beautiful desk there with the screen in front. We're going to put some symbols there.
The side's black.
The sides are going to be black and everything. Anyways, this is what Randy's been doing, and it's absolutely fantastic. We're all really proud of that, and it's going to be an upgrade to what Brendan currently has now. And you can see how it's kind of like circled here. So I guess a half circle, and that's just to have better, interviews and stuff like that when Raheem is here and so on and so forth, and some of our guests. So definitely Trader TV upping the game right there. Go Pack, go! Upping the game on that one. So we'll wait to see on that. And I think we were saying weeks away there, but either way, when it's here. You'll see it, and should be a really great opportunity for us to expand the show and just make things look a little bit better there. So as you can see, we are empty desks behind us. If any of you guys are interested, we had Greg's email up there. I don't know if you guys still have it, but we could throw that on because I think it's been a while since we've looked for a few new traders, and again, pretty quiet right here. I think there's a lot of people remoting in. I have no idea, or they're all fired. I have no idea where they all are.
All I know is like the midday meeting on the floor. That was done remotely. The floor manager is camping. And I think they're both remoting today, actually. Well, they are both remoting today. Oh, apparently we have. Do we have the email? Oh, we have Brandon's email.
Oh.
So the other floor manager, Brandon.
Sure, that would work. Throw that up there.
So if you're interested, you have to be, of course.
Oh, okay, that's what we're using now. Brandon, not this Brendan. It's a Brandon.
Brandon with an A.
The guy we always hear, Brankles. We always hear that name in the background. So.
He's the guy that yells in the back. He's like, pump it or dump it. It's that.
So I got to shout Pokeroo. I think because he has a TFC. I think it was a TFC, or it's a team, or it's a Canadian soccer logo. Is that? So anybody in the Greater Toronto area or anything like that, obviously we are located here in downtown Toronto. So if you are looking for a prop floor or anything like that, or just want to come meet us, send an email over to said email address, and hopefully someone will respond, and
someone will respond.
Yeah, someone. I'm just playing around with that. Randy, we just showed your desk, man. Very, very impressive. People like the desk, and I'm very excited for it as well.
And Brendan will keep it nice and clean, unlike me.
Brendan. Okay. I'm not in any trades. I was looking for one more. I'll just say this to you because I know Neil's trading a little more actively than I am right now into Power Hour.
Really? I have like.
Oh, you are? Okay. I just heard you go ooh like that, so I thought maybe there was something. But just quickly, as Danielle was talking here, I was really thinking that, maybe I'd take this break of Tesla to the downside. I still like it, but I feel like there's going to be a better spot at some point for me to get in. So, we'll wait on that. I've canceled that order to go short into the downside here of Tesla. Maybe if it rips back up to this 295 area, we'll look at it again. But for right now, I put the order in to break the bottom of that, but that didn't come through. So net pa on that trade.
Short the pops. I've probably told the story too many times, but when I was a trainee, one of the best ways to think about the trend was there was one trader who would yell out if it was a downward trending market, and every time it would bounce, he'd just yell short the pops, because you want to stay with the direction that the market is going. And when it's running to the upside and you see green, sometimes you want to remember what's up. That's not what I'm doing here in Bed Bath & Beyond, because it's kind of breaking out off VWAP. I did take some out. Oh, there's a crazy wick. That's why I zoomed in. There's a crazy wick. So it broke 10 again, but failed to get through that 10.05. So I took some out there. I'm going to hold through these highs. I'm going to try and reload in front of VWAP as well. But we were just talking about Tesla. Well, you were just talking about Tesla. So when we see it bounce up here, my first instinct, it's like, okay, where do I want to short the pop? And had this consolidation, 293 into 293.5. I think if it tries to put a fail in that range and go sideways, that'll be the first look for me to try to get into that short. Just always want to look for something that's on the move. That Tilray, by the way, I paid for the shorts. Maybe a little too slow on that one, I suppose. I could have had the shorts already when it hit 420 the first time Prad brought it up. Instead, it looks like it's gotten away from that high. If it comes back in there toward like the mid to high teens, I'll just try and take it. Really, it's a 420 top, and I just want to short 16s and 17s in front of that high, and then work it to VWAP. Right? There's no point chasing it at 410 because that's 1-to-1 to the top into VWAP and support at 4. So that doesn't really make any sense. You need to get this one, right up close to that high because you're looking to make 10 cents on the trade or 5 to 10 cents in risk, 3 to 5 or something in that area. So it doesn't make any sense in the middle.
All right, so we'll hit this because it's a new trade alert, but it's the same stock that we've just been talking about. So I did short the pops on Tesla. And we'll just see if that's coming through. I talked about wanting to take that bottom out. It didn't happen. A nice little move up on basically the same kind of move here in the market. So the market comes back up, tests just some of these levels again until we break above this 13.1 or even above 13.120 right there. Remember what's coming tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow you're going to hear a lot more Fed speak. I think we had Bullard speaking earlier today, so on and so forth. forth. Tomorrow the big dog comes on, and I don't know what time. I don't know what time we're expecting. If Brendan has anything there, that'd be kind of cool. But we'll be here tomorrow anyways all day. Tomorrow, join us right about now. My mouth will probably be on fire tomorrow as we're doing spicy trades.
You'll be good for that.
So it depends on what level we're at. I need those sheets back.
About 3:30.
Liz or Maggie, if you're watching, bring those sheets back because I want. Unless we've tweeted them out and I can find it, I want to go over, at least one or two of the next. Maybe we'll save
the last one.
Save the last one. So we'll do the next two levels because the first one was 1,000 Scoville units. And the second one was 4,000. The second one was 4,000, and it was the first one was like a blueberry. I think that's going to be really sweet. Obviously, I meant sweet as in like sweet, but obviously sweet in tasting as well. And then the next one was a sort of a garlic flavor. And then as we're going to go, man, we're going to start leveling them up. I went down there, but it's going to be leveled up on said Scoville unit. So that should be really exciting. And yesterday I went on just I don't know why I went and got that carton of milk, that liter of milk there, and left it overnight, so we had to throw that one out. But tomorrow,
didn't I say it was going to get left out?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I put it on the floor.
I'm like, put the milk back.
Remember, I put it here, and I didn't want to like elbow it down and make a huge mess. But anyways, tomorrow should be a lot of fun. Join us at that time. Liz has the papers right now, so thank you, Liz. Well, that was quick. So people are watching the show
Tesla's
in the back.
falling,
That's really cool. Yeah, we're in Tesla. We're in the money now. Whatever. I mean, in the money, 75 cents for Tesla is what it is for your boy. Okay, Ray, I just want to break the bottom, so I'm not going to worry about Tesla. I'm just going to trade this for a second. You put on yours. I'll read the next one here. So a big thank you to, look, we put the shout out to a trader. I don't mean to be avoiding everything. We are still trading. I'm in this Tesla trade, which is now 50 cents in the money. But a big shout out to Henry Labard, and we'll keep saying that. We put a shout out. He's a junior chef or whatever, looking to make some moves here with his sauces. So thank you so much for that. The next one on the list. So we go Berry Thunder, then we go Harissa Garlic, and then the very next one, very nice handwriting by the way, is a 12,000 Scoville unit. So it's Sweet Heat. So it's just, he has it written down here like a little Asian zing here, sweetened with apricot and agave, spiced with ginger and garlic, a mix of Thai and habanero peppers, plus a few roasted minis in there as well. So that is number 2 there. So we go from 1,000 Scoville, 4,000. We'll be able to handle all this, I hope. And then the next one, 12,000. And then we go up to 100,000 with the next one. And we can talk about that in a couple minutes. We'll leave you for that. You can guess what kind of peppers are in that one for now, as we'll go back and discuss a little bit of trading there. A little bit. So I got into Tesla. It dropped back down. It went $1 in the money. I think I could take a piece out here, 292 flat maybe, but I'm going to hold this into the close. So if you were looking, I think there's been some issues here at 292-ish, right down in here for the last little bit, just kind of barcoded there. Took one dip down. That's where we got excited about possibly breaking that bottom. That is the bottom, by the way, of the day, 291.60. So we'll see if that comes into play. But for now, I'm short, and I'm not getting out till it breaks 294. So it's like I'm going to give it $1 and hopefully make who knows how much I want to hold this till the close. So
there was someone asked earlier, like I saw in the chat, someone said who's reporting after market tonight. Well, Danielle Shea did mention we have a lot of names. The firm is reporting, but Marvell was the chip name that was reporting that she had mentioned that I'm very interested in seeing. But today, obviously dragged up by Nvidia and the broad market by itself, it's already rejected 55 once, and it's not to say that it can't continue to go higher, but as I see the market trying to make continuous lower highs, I still have my lines drawn on there, get rid of that. You had this wick off top as it tried to get to 55 and then a lower high as well. So I'm looking to the south side here for this. I saw Nvidia pull back. I see the market pulling back in. It's rejected a key level. You can always think a little bit of risk off. Remember, Nvidia gapped down and ultimately they did guide poorly. So, there's a good chance that Marvell might not have a good report. Obviously, the reaction was strong today in Nvidia, but the report itself could come out negatively if you sort of follow the trend of what the other chip-making brethren have been doing this quarter. So I'm going to look for the shorts on Marvell off of that 55 level. I might want it to push up a little bit here before I jump into it, but I do like this one for the south side here today on MRVL, and I say it correctly every single time because being a comic book nerd, I know Marvell when I see it or hear it. A little bit of a pullback happening in Bed Bath & Beyond. I think that's just going to give me an opportunity well, not that much, I guess. needs to drop at least another 10 cents before I can get into this one. Again, off of VWAP, but I am looking for the reload over there, looking for the longs. I also like the short in Tesla. It's a little bit higher, a little closer to 293.50, and I think we can definitely take it. And I know Trader Prad was trading pins, and a lot of people have been asking about that. Here's another name attempting to break out the high of the day, up 12%. It's super strong. I've been trying not to look at it because my gut is just saying, ooh, you wanna be fading this. But you know what? It's not at the place where I would want to be selling this. 24 is quite obvious on Pinterest. 24 is that level. It's like 40 cents away. And we just said in the momentum video, when the momentum is going, you kind of let the market come to you. Well, 24 is the resistance level on this stock, and it has been since since the spring. So if it gets to 24, then I want to short it. We're running out of time for that to happen, whether it's today or tomorrow. Pinterest, 24, it's obvious on the daily. If it breaks out there, like 24, 30 to 40, I think is that top, it's got room to run. But this is an overextended move. If it gets there today, I want to be shorting that 24 on pins. But I'm not going to chase this. I'm not going to be out in front too far. 50 pennies on a $24 stock, that's too early to be getting into the short.
All right, yeah, that was on pins. Yeah, good call. It's so funny to see. You think about some of the prices of these names have really gotten hit.
That was it.
All right, Docusign, another name here that's just been kind of fading out all day here. The reason why I go back to this is because you remember, whether or not you remember now, we take a lot of trades on the show. But Docusign, I had a really great trade on it the other day, and I want to look at it again here today. So this is Docusign coming in. Look at it, pretty weak here, just a bunch of again, like lower high, like just kept on coming back in, and now we're making this here. We're below everything now. The market's still up. DocuSign's up less than the market or so. I don't know. I guess I should check that out now. I don't know what the market is. It was about 1%. I just look at this break right now. Look at this. DocuSign, again, off the morning. Definitely wanted to go back to the downside, and then something happened, and it ignited from 60 all the way up to $63, and now starting to inch down. So I see this barcode action, and I say to myself, you have a good trading opportunity here. Just very similar to what I saw in CRM, except for the other way around. So, it stuck its head above the 50 period here for a little bit. Now we're starting to head down. I just think if you break this shelf, why, there's no stop and goes here at all. This is just straight up to the upside. So I don't think anyone's probably, if there's day traders and they're long somewhere down here, they're probably out. I could see people getting out on the 62 break, back down, but I'm just looking at this level. If the market gives it up here heading into I feel like tomorrow could be a down day, but I've been pretty negative on the market over the last couple weeks. So this 61.30 break is what I'm looking at right there for a downside possible target for Docu. When and if I get in, then we'll talk about some of these outs. It'd probably be 70 up here where we've seen before. So in at 30, out at 70 would be a 40-cent hit. I believe there's much more downside than 40 cents on this name. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now into this trade for Docu. I'm only looking at it as a daily. I didn't even really look, as a minute chart there. I didn't really look at it here on the daily. I'm just trying to scalp this into the close. So realistically, whatever it goes, it goes. All right, and that's if it gets in. I don't know. The stop order's in there. And that's the other thing. Neil and I, if you're watching for the first time, hit the like button, and thank you for coming by. You have now found the best trading show on YouTube. So big congratulations to that one. Not because of me, because of everybody around me. Look at Tesla and all of us here. That's the whole point of the teamwork. You see Fahad, or maybe you don't see Fahad, but sometimes you see Fahad. Big shout out to that. Big shout out to Tony. We have 2, 3 more hosts that come in on the midday. Sharif in the building as well.
That smells delicious, by the way. It really does. Because Sharif does the midday show and he eats his lunch right about this time. Power hour starts and it's like, I got to smell whatever he's throwing down there.
We signed up Sharif here to join us every day, hopefully, on as long as he's feeling well, as all of us. And that's really the only thing that stops us, right? We all love the market so much that, the only thing that doesn't keep us here is in sickness and in health, as they say. But I'm happy to announce, we announced it already on the midday show, that Sharif's going to be partner in crime with Prad for a bit. And then hopefully when Luca gets back and a few of the other traders that we've had on as well should be coming back as a more full-time. So we're really excited for that one as well. But okay, let's just go over to trading quickly. the market's coming back to the upside now. So look, Tesla's already been $1 in the money for us. We didn't take it. We talked about that over and over again. I want to use 294 as an out just to break up above here. We did get out of Tesla. I mean, we've been shorting it all day, and I'm just hoping that we get either another shot to get something around here, or we're able to tank. Either way, if we take down 294, I don't even want to get fancy, like 294.50 maybe. But again, like I've been saying, to get too specific on some of these levels, it's bouncing around a lot. I want to see it hold this 294 area. More importantly, 293.50. That's where we're short. We're short at 293.14. Let's see if it can come back down. For now, it's a moot point. It's 20 cents in the money, who cares? We're not taking that out, nor am I taking it out if it gets down to the low of the day. I want it to break this low and then see where we go. So that's it. For me, that's a pretty easy trade. And then we have Docu trying to line up as well.
That rhymes. I like that.
That rhymes, but.
Someone just said in the chat, it's like she gone. I like the, yeah, I don't know what that was in reference to, but certainly not gone is this market. I still feel like we're making lower highs. However, it is worth mentioning. Like
AMD could break.
Like
too.
yeah, like if you really look at the trend, like we got a pretty strong trend to the upside. It's felt like since we got to the top midday here that you've been getting this series of lower highs. I just got into Tesla myself, so maybe it's going to be cursed here. We'll see, and I could get Marvell as well, getting some shorts off these highs. But if you could see a potential run and a break, you're running out of time for that to happen. That's the way I look at it. And if you just everyone always wonders, it's like, why are you guys going against the trend? We get that a lot in the afternoon show. One of the reasons why, not split adjusted, one of the reasons why is sometimes when it gets to the top of the market, you're just looking at a resistance level, and it's just the path of least resistance is to short off of those resistance levels. 193.5 is kind of this consolidation I'm looking at for a pullback in Tesla. I'm very close to getting Marvell. I'm going to note that Nvidia is really not doing a heck of a lot. And if this is the leader of the band, I'd feel a little bit less about sitting on the offer of Marvell if we were breaking these highs, but we're not on Nvidia. We're still making lower highs, so I'm going to sort of maintain that offer, just double check, because I just realized I don't have a level 2 up for that, so I'm going to move away the Pinterest one, because I'm probably not going to get into that anytime soon, and throw up Marvell just to make sure I have that locked and loaded. It's not doing a heck of a lot just yet, but as Nvidia climbs higher, I expect I could be getting that fill rather promptly. Bed Bath & Beyond can't seem to get past $10. So, it teases you with a little bit of a break and then just goes sideways from there. I still want to buy the dip. I still want to hold for it to break out and maybe give you a shot at like quarters, 30s, up to that 50 level. I looked at AMC earlier and it was like, oh, there's a chance it could do something. If it broke 950 and then it rejected 950, so that is still trending to the downside. These names have been pretty dead, and especially when the market gets really strong, sometimes the meme names just run out of steam, or squeeze names just run out of steam. That's what I think has happened here. AVYA doesn't seem to be doing too much of anything as well. A firm who report tonight, that's breaking the top actually on volume. Well, let's get over to not yet. It's trying to break the top, I should say. A firm needs to get through 3160. That's this level here. That's the top. Maybe it's got a chance here. A firm is just beaten up enough and shorted enough that it's one of the ones that could go. And really, it's been bouncing off the PIP 50. Holding that 30 level. There's some signs that it wants to get to that upside. And a lot of times you get that short coming in, heavily shorted, and it can only break to the upside. It's been beaten up a lot. But I'm not going to make any guesses on a firm. It has to break 3160 before I'd think about long.
I can look at a firm and just give a guess. Down. No, I haven't looked at it yet.
They're going to lose money.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet. So don't. I don't feel any ways like the way I did about Snowflake that I do about any of those names on the board. But we will review those in probably about 20 minutes or so into the close. But we hit that siren alert because guess what? It's a new trade alert right now. So we're going to take out PayPal, taking out the high of the day right now, taking out $96. Let's just see, is there momentum into the close? And we talked about this earlier today, breaking out from key levels, looking at momentum. Look where this has come from. It hit 95.50 down there. It's basically straight up in a straight line. There's a little bit of a pullback there, but that's like a pullback of 10 cents or so. And then busting to the upside right now, taking out, the day's high right now. Nothing on a daily chart. Let me just look at this on a 20-minute for you on PayPal. And again, this is, it's setting up to be the trade that I want. It's just a matter of if this trade was here at like 930, like I saw the Meta trade or the Alibaba trade. This is basically the exact same, although the bar coding doesn't go back as many days, but you're breaking out again here. So if PayPal can take down, like what I'd be saying here if this was early, and it's the same trade that I made on Alibaba, was like if it breaks 95 or 96, then you're up to a brand new level. So right here on PayPal, this is a new trade for me. We just put this on. You can see PayPal just nicely move to the upside right here, taking out this 96, goes all the way back here to the 19th of, obviously of August there. Only a couple days, but we've done some work to the downside. Now we're trying to break out to the upside. So if there is momentum to come through on PayPal, we just ticked it long now. I'm only going to give this one, honestly, like 30 cents, I don't know, something like that down here. I don't really want to dance with this one. If the momentum's not going to be here into the close, we're already short Tesla, but let's just take PayPal and see if it does want to carry the day through this 96. So a new trade idea here into the close. Like I said, we'll give this, I mean, we may only give this to 80s back here, which is 30 cents. So let's see if PayPal can hold this high and continue to the north side. We're going to need a good close for this to happen, but I like this idea, PayPal as a new one.
Well, we got a super chat there I want to make sure I address. It was Mr. Westermeyer was asking about Ulta Beauty, another name that reports. I know we're going to talk, we'll get the earnings board up a little bit later. We've already talked about a few, and why not add Ulta to the list? Caveat, I don't own shares of Ulta Beauty, but I do like them. When we talked, actually we talked about this, I feel like a couple of years ago during the midst of the pandemic, that we were sort of saying like, when things open back up, there's going to be some names that are going to make a ton of sense. And Ulta Beauty with, quite frankly, when masks go away and people start getting back out, that is a heck of a recovery play. And they're a great company. I'm not going to tell you that they're relatively cheap because they still trade at like, well, it'll be different tomorrow, but they still trade at like 18 times earnings. But it's been on a pretty solid run already. It has a lot of respect, certainly in the last couple of weeks here for both major moving averages, and especially with the market trying to make a bit of a bounce after that pullback, it is in the midst of a breakout. The only problem with Ulta Beauty is that A, doesn't move much, B, it's a little top heavy here. And like sort of my concern will be that overall you've seen a lot of like the numbers have been disappointing for some of the retailers, and then the reaction has been good. So my gut's telling me that this should follow, if it's following that pattern, the price should move up. It's a great run company. I think they have a decent chance to post solid numbers, but I'm not necessarily expecting the numbers to be good because retail hasn't had fantastic numbers in this round. So I think you might have to suffer through what might be somewhat blah, meh, or disappointing numbers, or even just borderline, but that doesn't mean the stock isn't going to be bought tomorrow, especially if we're trying to take out, and I hate to say it, but the resistance on the daily right here is 420. You know I like that number, Brendo.
One that was super strong this morning, drug, just popping back up here, you can see. Can you see? No, it doesn't break that. Volume coming in anyways on drug, guys, trying to get back to highs.
This stock was a disappointment for me anyways. Yeah, I had this thing twice, and neither time did it follow through. Had it at 60s, it tried to break 3, that eventually failed, it was okay. Then I bought the dip on the higher low, it couldn't break VWAP, and then it broke down, and that was more or less a flat trade overall. And now it decides it wants to go. So this is what I wanted that AVYA to be doing off of consolidation. Look, I mean, I'll give it a shot. With a little bit of time still left in the day, I think you have a chance, especially if you get past this 85, to get going to that high that it rejected at 3 earlier on in the session. Otherwise, it's just a pure VWAP. So to let it bounce down back in toward VWAP and then see if we can't work that long. So I was in it earlier. It was okay. But you know what? It followed that one rule that I like. If you have a breakout from in the morning that doesn't take the next level out, when it dips, does it hold that obvious support? It did. So you know, it's a kind of candidate that you'd want to try to make that second leg to the upside. The volume's, it's not bad, but it's not great either. So I don't have like the highest of hopes. I just got into Marvell. So that short just came as well. I gotta go look over at, oh yeah, Nvidia's still not doing anything. So Marvell's pretty okay here. That 55 is an obvious out. If it breaks 55, I'm out of Marvell.
All right, so PayPal's working out nicely for us, so that's going to be a good one now. But what isn't working out for us, and we just averaged in the last time, is going to be Tesla. We averaged in once here for Tesla, so our average price is going to be 37. So we're a whopping 20 cents out of the money on this one. And we just say that tongue in cheek. I mean, this is the way Tesla moves. It's going to give you opportunities here, and we're going to take this one. It's just bounced back up Obviously, it's been weak today into the market. We've talked about the split. We talked about all that stuff. So I'm not going to sit here and analyze why I think this is a short, but we just went into the short. My out's 294, about as easy as it could be. We will take a 60-cent hit here, or 60, let's say it was slippage, probably 75-cent hit or so on Tesla if it does break back above 294. We'll give some of our day back, but it's a very, very small amount. If I do lose, so far today, we're obviously up nicely on Tesla, and if this trade goes against me, I will give back about 10% of what we made here on Tesla. So if you guys are up on it, this is a trade that I think is worth a little bit of money here, but I am going to take a piece out at 293. That was a good average in. Right back here, we bounced off 293. Actually, we bounced off this area exactly, 293.20 a couple times. So, I mean, I could take some out just for profit, and then just because, like, technically it looks like a decent spot, but there's 293 right there, the 50 period. Let's see if it can give us a little bit of a bigger win and take a piece out there. But so far, so good on the reload, but we're definitely not counting our chickens before they hatch. Give it to us, Brendan.
Twitter popping up here, guys, on a few headlines coming out of this Delaware court. Apparently, the judge has ordered or denied, in fact, many of Musk's data demands directed at Twitter, calling them absurdly broad, apparently. The judge also ordering Twitter to turn over more data sought by Elon, and specifically on 9,000 accounts that have been reviewed in the past by Twitter in a Q4 audit. So big pop here for Twitter shares.
Yeah, you never really want like a judge to be saying the word absurd with regards to requests. That's not necessarily a good thing there. No. However, I was going to use this one because you said don't count your chicken before they're hatched, but then I realized, it's more like a spicy chicken. I don't know. It's like a hot.
That was supposed to be for like when we were talking about, I used to say like, spicy meatball and stuff like that.
But it's a chicken.
We had.
I was going to hit that because just if we can
I thought we did have a chicken walking across.
We did have a chicken walking across. But we've lost a lot of them. We had this discussion. Like a lot of the old ones that we used to have for the animations are still there.
I don't see it.
So I don't know. We'll hit this one for basketball. And
come on, Tesla.
This is like, so Bed Bath & Beyond, we just got some out there at 10.15. It continues to brace higher. Hopefully we can get a push to like the quarters, at least in the 30s.
Oh, I have the chicken
or
one.
more. There it is. You have it? There it is.
Like, I mean, how good is that?
That's the one. I don't have that one, but at least you have it.
I mean, those.
At least you got it. At least you got it.
All right. Well.
But of course. Just when I'm saying, okay, it's starting to get going. There's Bed Bath & Beyond. It's making another move up. There's another candle. So it goes up, it rejects, it consolidates, it goes up, rejects. Probably going to consolidate, hopefully off 10 even, and then we can catch that. Like you have two shorts now. Well,
I have 1 and 1.
1 and 1, but I have Tesla as well, and then I got into that Marvell. Chip maker, you can see the lower high it's putting in off of 54.75 and continuing to kind of reject that. I'm also seeing Nvidia, about 30 cents it just rolled over, but it just rejected a lower high as well. So that's probably a good sign for some of these shorts because the market just pulled back off of its lower high. Bit of a theme there, right?
Yeah, I think so. And there it is right there. We'll go belly dance it off again because there goes Tesla and rinsing and repeating the trade here on Tesla as there it comes back down to the downside. We'll take out a third at 93 right at the 50 period. I have to, like I said, I have to stay true to what I'm thinking here. And so that was that, average there. That was a great one up at 294. We took it at 294.60. And this is the thing, like when you sit here and you read the tape and you're sort of watching what's happening, this is why it's so tough. And I'm not, I signed up to do this. Much more than that. But, you do miss opportunities. Like if you're sitting here just trading one name instead of going back and forth, then you're able to see it. I've obviously been focused on Tesla a lot today. And I was literally waiting at 293.70 and I would have just been like beside myself if I missed it because it didn't get that high. It just kept bouncing off of 60 here. So I watched it over and over and over again. And then eventually I just kind of marketed in or whatever, just aggressive limit order into these shares and wound up grabbing them at, I think it was like an average price of 62 and change there. So that wound up being okay, and then the drop happened. So sometimes when you're watching, you can sort of see the push and pull, and that one for some reason kept bouncing its head off that 60 level, and then eventually this fall back down, and then we take a piece out. So now all I'm going to do is adjust the stop. If we take down 294, I now have a third less shares. So I'm just trying to put you through what goes through my head here, because that's like, part of what we're doing here is hopefully educating and entertaining. So right now, never forget your stop orders, because when you clear out of shares, you don't want to, and this happens to me sometimes, you see it happen to Neil, all of us on the show, where it's like, uh-oh, now I'm too long and I don't want to be long. It just, I covered some of my short, and then when I got out, it pushed me long X amount of shares. And sometimes you'll wind up losing more on kind of that keystroke than you made on the initial trade in the first place. So definitely clear that out. And before I get carried away, I'm going to go do that right now.
Oh, and I just got into Twitter. And Brendan just brought the news. And to me, that's obviously somewhat bullish for Twitter, because if the lawsuit gets goes in the favor of Twitter, then Elon has to pony up, and it's 54.20, or good news leads to a potential settlement at some point, which will likely be somewhere in the middle of where it's trading, or 45 or 47, whatever it is, probably likely higher than the $41 it's sitting at right now. It spiked, got to 41.40, came right back in. And whenever I see like spike news like this, I always come back to the same pattern. Where did the stock settle before? So I look at the previous high, that was 41.85, and then I go from there. What was that channel? Down to about 40.70, and then I look for an entry in that range. So I just picked some up there at pretty much right at 80s. It's already bouncing back to the upside. The key thing with when you're not getting the first move, right? Like, well, if you have an algo or you're just like the fastest person ever, no, you got to be an algo or something like that. You're probably not going to catch that price on the way up. And if you're buying the top, it's a different story. But on the way back in, you want to be patient and wait for it to get to a level where it had price acceptance before. And if the buyers step in there, okay, well, there were buyers when it got there and it hung out there before. And if there's good news, maybe they want to do so again. And then play it back into 41. It might not get back to the highs. And I'm never thinking it's going to get back to the highs when you make a trade like that. You're trying to capture at least a portion of that move, which to me says get some more shares out if it cracks 41, and then get some more shares out if it gets to that 41.20, which obviously was where the move arrested before, stopped or stalled or whatever you want to call it. So there's Twitter. Thank you, Brendan, for that note. Where's my, there it is. Hey, yay, yay, see, and that's the reason. So obviously you can have scanners out there that give you the news, and there's news services or whatnot. Clearly, we have a bit of an advantage because we get to sit here and whatever. We can have Twitter up as well and be looking for that. But we also get Brennan flat out just telling us things that are happening. I didn't notice the thing in Twitter, but it did just bounce to the upside. However, when this is moving up, I'm usually thinking in my head what is good for the deal, like for Twitter, the deal going through, should be bad for Tesla shares. Because if you're thinking there's a greater chance that Elon has to go through with the deal, well then, why the heck? Because he's paying for the deal with equity in Tesla, right? Like that's part of it. That to me puts more pressure on Tesla stock. Now he said he doesn't have to sell anymore, but he said that once before and then eventually sold more. So if the deal goes through, my understanding is the likelihood that he's going to have to sell some more Tesla shares, at least in my opinion. I could be dead wrong about that. But I'm a little surprised that after that little spike back to the upside, Tesla's still testing these highs. So a bit of a shock there in my opinion, but it hasn't broken 94 just yet. I would have thought this would have been a bit of an opposite reaction there for Tesla, but it is not heading to the downside right now, which is a surprise.
Yeah. I don't think Tesla really, honestly, I just think it's like so old now, this Twitter stuff, that he did sell 9 billion or something worth of shares.
It was like 8.
Yeah, whatever it was. And he's not going to have to pay 54.20 anyways. They will settle somewhere in between, and that's what I believe will happen with that one. I don't know. Who knows what they're going to have to pay there, but some judge won't award some stupid random price like that anyways.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if a judge actually picked a price that like that? I don't know. Yeah. They would never do that, obviously.
No, exactly, yeah. So, all right, just looking here again, Palantir obviously having a big day because of big data and what's up to Snowflake as well. So they just kind of saved that little run there for Palantir, which was basically at $8, and then it's had a nice little run today. I still think you got to get above this 850. So I know there's some talk on the chat there about Palantir. You guys know I like this name, but unfortunately it's got to get above 850. We'll see if that can come in tomorrow. I'm not super interested in it yet until it gets to there. Although 23 million shares got me tingling a little bit, but It's not 840 would normally be the long, but it's 337 right now, and so I'd rather not play the momentum here in Palantir. I feel like it's a little bit late, and you can see on the daily chart there's not much here for that. It's just 850 is right there that we just talked about, and then quickly before we go over to Brendan, here's the 1 minute. It's just been grinding higher. So if you notice when Snowflake made that move down there and then retraced back up, you could have gone to like this name instead and hit it if you only had a little bit of buying power there, because again, 8 versus 190. So, but there it is. Palantir definitely stops at 820 and then starts taking it out. So if it takes out 840, I like the long. I mean, it's just, I think we're running out of time to really invest some serious capital in any of these names, and that's kind of what I want to do. So I'm going to wait to see on this one, but I think it's worth a break here at 840 here for Palantir. So if you like this and time is on your side, which it's not for us, then I like this 840 break on PLTR. My PayPal's not doing anything, and Tesla is right back up to 294 again, looking to break out past that level. But Brendan's got something.
Meta just popping up again on some volume here, guys. Apparently Zuckerberg was on Rogan today and was talking about this. A new VR headset to come in October for Meta, trying to get going again.
Apparently those are going to be really, like Apple's and Meta's are going to be pretty expensive. We'll see what happens with them, because I think like we'll see some sticker.
Yeah, I took the Quest too. I think it was $6 for it.
Yeah, I was seeing that Apple's was going to be more than that, because obviously as they try to improve and you get it like more ergonomic, there's like if you want to have it so that you're not just sort of in an augmented reality, but also the ability to sort of interface with people, so that you can also interact with the world around you while also getting virtual projection. It takes a heck of a lot more processing power, and then trying to make that into something that's ergonomic and smaller and cooler, like Apple obviously would do, is going to end up maybe a little pricier than I think people expected. But I think it's a cool concept, to be sure. Running out of time here, so I don't know if I'm definitely not adding a 4 short, because most of this AVYA, I have to start getting out of it. It's only going sideways. Bed Bath & Beyond's okay, and Twitter's moving as well. But Pinterest did come to 24, at least close enough to it. It just got to 90s. I got the 90 short. Stop will be at 24 even. At least this one will be relatively simple. I knew exactly the price I wanted to go in front of here. It is late in the session, so there's a decent chance that this could go right up to that high at 350 and then make its decision when the imbalances come out. It wouldn't be the first time I saw that happen. But certainly this is a big level. If we do hang around here, I'm sure I'll be looking at this level tomorrow for Pinterest, because it's just a big one on the daily chart. I have to zoom way in for you to see it. But yeah, this is a pretty big level. Breaking out from here would be huge for them. Look at the room it has to the 200 period if this were to really get going. It's a great day today, up 13%. And the market is now charging toward those highs. So I'm going to have to respect that. The only 2 longs I have here outside of that AVYA in a bit of a meme stock, Bed Bath & Beyond, and then Twitter, which was on that news. So they're working, but they're not as directly exposed to this run-up in the NASDAQ as I would like.
CRM making a run. I just saw someone on the chat say, well, what else is making a run is a nice one here for PayPal. We took a piece out here as it gets to 25. We're long on this 96 break. So there's a piece, and there goes PayPal to the upside. Small win, but still 20 cents. I mean, I wish it would go a lot more than that. Cannot control where we go on PayPal. One thing we can control, though, was a good out, it seems like anyways, there on Tesla, as right now it's Rip City into 94. It takes down 94. Your boy's out of that. And we'll just, whatever, we wind up basically losing nothing. Well, we'll lose 50 cents. So there it is, out. So we lose 50 cents there on that name. And we got, we took the profit there, and then we got out there. So again, a cup of coffee on that one, all good. We're going to wind up hopefully making more. This needs to go to about 30s, I believe, or 40s to make back there on PayPal. So hopefully that can continue its move to the upside. I still like this name. Now 20 cents in the money, looking to go higher. And again, remember where our out was 80. So here we go. Yeah, stock's starting to take off now to the upside. Part of Tesla breaking that high. Meta probably going as well. Yep, there goes Meta. I mean, Meta was, again, could have been easily the trade of the day. Let's see if it takes down 168. But these buys at 165 early were huge. We have a 166 buy as well. But there goes Meta with the market. Market now up that 1.39, which is why I turned that bear into a bull early today, but whatever. The market's still making their moves. Tomorrow's the day. We only have 8 minutes until 7 minutes now until the imbalances, and then we'll just judge the plays from there. But part of it too is Tesla's starting to finally get going a little bit.
Exactly. I mean, the only short that didn't come out there was Marvell, and I feel like that's only a matter of time. Drug, I'll give it. It broke 3 even. I have been waiting for this all day long, so I'm gonna take the shot on Drug. If it's a small cap, sometimes it has that run in it, but I always say this every single time. If it doesn't go pretty quickly this late, then usually that move is going to end up happening at 4 o'clock, if it's going to happen at all. When you get this late a move to the upside. But it's a significant enough level. And when I said this morning, that I like that potential break if it came, and it's because it had so much room to the next obvious resistance level there at about 340 to that upside. So I'll give it a little bit of room to be able to get there. Hasn't happened yet. I think Marvell's getting real close to that 55. Bed Bath & Beyond's kind of stalling out there, and Twitter made a bit of a pullback on me, so I think look, even if the market makes a fresh high, I'm not completely convinced that Twitter will follow because it's kind of in its own bucket, and when the market just touched the tops, I mean, Twitter's already pulling back. I'm just going to take this one out here because my gut's just sort of telling me Twitter doesn't have a ton of reason to follow the market in this upward band. Like, it made the move because of that headline. It made a fresh high, it tested the high again, and then rejected it. That's enough for me. We have to keep it flat at the end of the day anyway, so it's not like I can hold that till tomorrow where Twitter could actually trend. So Drug, Bed Bath & Beyond, both momentum names, and the last shorted Marvell, which reports after the bell tonight. 55 will be the stop on that one.
Oh, Marvell. Yeah, I was just trying to find out something else. We just did update our PayPal. We tweeted that out when we took it down there at $96, and now you're seeing it hit 96. We just took another piece out there at 37s there. So a good little winning trade here to end the day on PayPal, and also a decent out on Tesla right there as we, short, out again, and there it goes, trying to hit some of those tops. And like I said, if there was more time in the day, I'd still like to short this thing up to VWAP, but with only now, and again, we do this. I did this yesterday. It was a pretty popular thing to do, and that was count down the time. So right now, just so you guys know what we're looking at here in Toronto, based on what the stream is, it's 3:45, 12, 13, 14. So 3:45, 16 right now, if you're following along, just so you have a rough idea of the stocks we're looking at and the time frames and so on and so forth. So hopefully you're not too far behind us. Most people, I think, were 5 to 7 seconds delayed, and that's YouTube, man. I mean, I like to give it to you lightning fast, and I think as things improve, that probably will happen at some point as well. All right, let's just check out our Alibaba trade. Someone said CRM is flying. Geez, yeah, it is, man. We got out there at 171 break to the downside. I think that happened right when we were with Danielle Shea, and then there it is. It basically respected that 170 level. I'm going to sneeze in a minute. Respected that. I have the cough button, so hopefully it works. I don't think last time it did, but
it should work. You're good. You come to me for a second. I know, don't just keep the camera right on him.
Well, I was holding it, so if everybody got blasted out there, then
Fahad was all over.
Fahad got it. What? So if I didn't hit that key, it would have been a problem? I don't know. So you will double check that after.
What I found out that Lucas told me though is if, like, say Brennan is talking, which means they mute our mics when Brennan's talking. If I just, out of an abundance of caution, hit my mute button at the same time, it unmutes me. So that when I think I'm hiding a big loud sneeze when Brennan's talking, you guys then hear all of that, unfortunately. But the market does want to take out the fresh high of the day. Sometimes it's just about what goes up must go higher. Yeah,
exactly.
Whatever. I was about to say go upper, but at least I didn't say that. But there's a top break on the NASDAQ. Yeah, I don't know what I was going with for that line, but the NASDAQ and the ES both climbing upside. I'm going to start taking off these names that aren't moving, like these small caps that aren't going. Bed Bath & Beyond, I'm going to give it a chance because at least it's continuing to trend higher. This one looks like it has a chance to go. Drug is basically flat. Marvell hasn't broken 55, but it certainly is going. And in Nvidia, right back up to the high of the day. So Nvidia super strong. This is that top. It couldn't get past 179 earlier. Now making an attempt at it, but it's way too tight to the imbalances to start thinking. Like, I'm not taking a breakout in Nvidia here today, but I do have to watch out. If this pulls back, that's my shot for Marvell to come back in.
that a call to Brendo or no?
I didn't hear it.
No, okay, all is well then on these fronts. Look, we only have another 3 minutes until imbalances, so thank you everybody for watching today. Hit the like button. I mean, let me see how many people we have watching right now because I'm in a good mood, so let's do that. What? Now I'm in a bad mood. 869 likes, 5,000 watching.
5,000.
Not impressed right now. We have over 100,000 people watching every day, and thank you again. Just in
That's
general.
below the Mendoza line. Actually.
Yeah, exactly. So let's hit the likes. Yeah, get that Mendoza. What is that? 230 or 200? The
No,
Mendoza
it's like 200,
line.
man.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get above that. Where is that? Where Boba is batting right now? What a guy.
He's better than that.
Yeah, no, he better
What
be better
must
than
it be
that.
like to be Mario Mendoza? Where like the guy made it to the show.
Yeah.
And like the big leagues, right?
Yep,
and
yep.
then is known for like the measure of futility is hitting below his career mark. Like you made it to the show, like you know, it's obviously a big achievement. I would love to have made the big leagues and hit like a $180. That'd be fine by me because at least you got there, and most people don't. It's not an easy thing to do, but anyways, hopefully we can get above that. Hopefully, Drug can make some power moves into the end. Also, just one last note because I feel like we've ignored. Give me a break. We've ignored, not ignored, we haven't talked about a lot of the other big tech names throughout the day. Just want to point out that Apple, which could not break 170 earlier when I was long, and then was a pretty decent short when it shook out 169, once again, right up to $170 and failing another time while the market's breaking out. So this level at 170 on Apple, I know, just like today, I'm going to have this one up locked and loaded. I did not take it out when I had 2 chances to do so. And when it got and rejected that high, and then even try to reload in front of that 69 before reversing. That 170 is a bit of a barrier here for Apple all day long. Got to have that on the radar for tomorrow.
Joe Biden going to be at Intel's new plant, so we can when they break ground there. So I mean, it's not like announcing a new plant. We've known about this here in the U.S. So we've talked about that with the chip spill and so on and so forth. So 34.80 right now as Intel starts going back up to the upside. I talked about possibly investing in this for the first time. This has been beat down very, very much. This is the daily chart. I mean, it doesn't even look like AMD or anything like that. The pullback really has been pretty strong, and I feel like if you can get to this 50 period of 30, I don't want to buy it yet, but this 50 period of 37, like I've been saying about SMH and so on and so forth, probably worth something there. So we'll wait. I mean, this is, like I said, I think this is back to like 1998 or something. Not even joking. Like $33 for Intel is pretty cheap, and I feel like they're not. We've talked about the regroup and what they're doing, and I think PC sales are probably stronger than what people think. So we'll wait to see on that. Obviously, you want to give it another quarter to make sure, but $37 down here. I feel like you're an upgrade or two away, or someone coming in. I remember, I forget who it was, I don't know if it was Chanos or who it was, spiked this thing when it was like 50, and it went to like 55 when they took a position. I wonder what, obviously they don't want to talk about their positions now, but there it is right there. Okay, here we go. Well, let me see. Here we go. Someone just asked a question here. What's up, DDN? Thank you for the super chat here. Here we go. I have watched your show for more than a year, and I do like. Okay, good. But what are the likes for? Okay, so basically the likes are just for, as far as I know anyways, the more likes that the channel will get. This is a completely free channel. So, I mean, free trading education. We don't sell anything. We don't do anything. So what we're trying to do, exactly, free cookies, one for you. First one's free. And then the point of what I'm getting at here is, and thank you for the question, is we asked for it because we want the YouTube algorithm to understand that people that watch the show like the show. And hopefully they'll be able to push that towards more viewers, and therefore we grow our community and we get more people watching. We've already hit 340,000 subscribers, or 330 change, something like that, on the subscriber count. So we're really proud of that number. The show's only a couple years old, and we're really growing and getting bigger and better every day. And I want to thank our community for that reason. So that's why we want you guys to like, subscribe, share, follow us all on socials. Like, I have 40,000, 35,000 followers on Twitter, and can't even get the blue check mark. So yeah, the more likes, the better it is for all of us, and the better it is for our community. So that's why. And
speaking of free, we also give the imbalances out for free because we get them piped into us on our system. I put in the chat that it was small buys, and the notable ones here, I mean, Merck and Apple. Apple 600,000 only, Microsoft only 400,000 now, Amazon 300,000. Right. It's mostly to the buy side except for Grab, but these are relatively small numbers. at this point. It's not like you're seeing anything crazy here. If it was, I know the market's breaking out, but sometimes the imbalances don't mean a heck of a lot. We are coming to, it's August, right? So we are coming to the end of a quarter. Sometimes that can matter. I just got the last out of that Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm going to cancel my dip buy because clearly I'm not going to take any more shares here. But it could not get past the morning high at 10:30. So even with all that, sort of buying off the lows, it couldn't break the resistance of this morning. I still think it has to get through 1060 for anything really serious to happen. That's been the line, and it's putting in a lower high. Drug is basically, the stock is exactly flat. Like, it's gone up to 310, it's come back and held around 290, and it's back to flat. So this breakout is not breaking out, pretty obviously. I like that $3 range, but sometimes the time that it happens might not be enough for it to go. I'll give it one last chance to make this push here, and I keep tightening up the stop. The stop's now down to 295. This is it, last-ditch effort. We have 5 minutes to go here. We have to be out of our positions at 4 o'clock, or sometimes, just shortly after that. Best efforts, of course. But this one feels like it wants to wait until the aftermarket. And Marvell, it might not break 55, but I still have to get out anyways. Does not want to fall either. They report aftermarket. I'm obviously not making a bet on earnings here. Was just playing off the top resistance.
Wow, you guys, you like us. You really, really like us. I guess that was a good idea, asking for the likes, because now we're up to 1.7K. We doubled right there, Fahad. We doubled the likes right there just by asking. So thank you, everybody out there. And maybe it's because you like the winners. And right now, there goes PayPal, right up to the day's high. This is a name that we took, man, and it's been a beautiful trade off this 96, breaking out to new day highs here as the market continues its momentum higher, up 1.6%. There goes PayPal. I set my stop for flat. Now we're just ripping into the close. So I think that we'll be, yeah, buddy, for that one. Give our face slapped upside a little bit there. Thank you to everybody who just found us right now. It was about the cookies. Yeah, I owe you guys one. If you want to come visit here, we'll get a couple of cookies there, and we'll throw those around. But like I said, it's just the first one that's free, and I bet you can't just eat one there. I bet you can't eat just one. That's the way it goes. But that's Lay's chips.
Those are chips.
But those cucumber ones that I tweeted out a while ago.
Yuck.
Yeah, you could eat only one of those easily, and then pass that for. Everyone always talks. I was trying to do like a new little thing here, and maybe I'll do this on Twitter. But here's what our lunch was today. So we get the salad. So right there, you got I was talking about it. Some egg salad, you get some fresh fruit, carrots, cheese, there's quinoa, all that kind of stuff on there. And then here it was going, some nice salad again. And then it was a pizza day. So we got some pizza pie coming through there today, and then followed by a nice little salad for the traders. So that's what was for lunch today. Maybe I'll do that every day, but that's a good one there. So follow me on Twitter, and you can see what the heck everyone's having for lunch every day. And then Pratt will complain about it and blah, blah, blah.
But he didn't complain today.
No, he's all about that pizza, and it was a good one. Yeah, pizza, good one. So PayPal, okay, only 5 minutes left, and I apologize that we normally get those imbalances to you a little bit quicker. I started talking about that super chat there and why we need the likes, and you guys showed up. So thank you so much for that. And on that note, I'll just give you a quick little imbalance locator quickly.
It was like carbs.
Grab is there. A lot of carbs there. I didn't have one piece of pizza, so I stayed away from that, although
sometimes
that looks
you
pretty
got to
good.
enjoy yourself.
I might take some home to the kids if there's any left over. But that's what that is. Not much happening here on the locator. 3M, I don't know, are they reporting? We're going to find out in a couple seconds when we go over to Brendan and the big board.
Yeah, I noticed that it was mostly bread, that pizza with pizza toppings on top. There we go. Aftermarket and before the open tomorrow, guys.
So we talked a little Ulta Beauty there. Thank you for the super chat, Mr. Westmeister. Marvell as well. Gap is the one that we haven't mentioned. The retailers have been good. Decent short interest there, worth watching. Sometimes you get a decent move out of those. We saw that with like Peloton, try to make moves in the morning off the bottoms and then even a reverse back in. So I know Gap will be one that I'm watching, but let's be real. Right back to the chips is where I think we also have to go because those moves aren't done. Like the main chip names have been pretty good trades all week long. And then, of course, Tesla post-split doing, what was the final volume there? I should pull that up. But
50.
50 million? Yeah, so 50 million, tremendous volume. I don't know if that's the volume leader on the day. I suspect if it's not number one, by notional value, I'm sure it's number one in the entire market today was Tesla. And I'm sure tomorrow it will be as well.
Yeah, I just went to Bed Bath & Beyond. That's only 35 million, 31 million. So that's not Well, and then you switch it to notional. So I think that's Tesla by far is going to be winning that one. Snowflake won't be that high for sure. Okay, just an update there. It's going to look silly because we just got out at 45 on PayPal as it rips into the close. I just was pretty happy with that trade. So again, you know, we take that trade, it hits our targets. My target was 50 anyways. I was sitting at 50 and I just down ticked it because again, it was doing this into the close and I didn't want to be part of that, but there goes PayPal. Congratulations to anybody who had that one there. Get some money bags going through as well. So that would be real nice trade there for PayPal. And again, why did we like it? It was pretty simple. I'm going to be looking for all of these kind of trades where we're starting to break above some of this, you know, recent kind of, I can't say like these garbage down here, but whatever. PayPal reported didn't do great. A downside move off of 100, stops at 93, and then takes it all out. And now we're gapping into that trade, right? So we're gapping into this 96 here. Well, it gapped down. We're not gapping into it, but we're filling that gap back through 96, and that's what sort of ignited the trade here today. And you know, if you're joining us late, welcome. But this is the trade that we put on right there, the long through 96. I really like that one. We didn't get into that docu short, and honestly, man, Tesla, like I said, if there was a little bit more time in the day, first of all, we would have got stopped out because it broke through 95.50. But that's our out there. That was for me, breaking that 94, man, that was a good trade right there to the upside, now printing 296. So Tesla making that money back today, and it looks like it's going to be flat on the close. So a big hold for anybody that was able to hold that off that 290 bottom. Big return today. Tesla not doing as bad as it was an hour ago, let's just say, when it was on the lows.
And Pinterest gets above that 24 and actually holding above there. Come on, load up. We got Tony on the bell, so Pinterest up 14%, right on this monster level on the daily chart. I know we're going to get to trade that off that level for sure. Give me a break. Like I hit enter twice, but it's a 24.40 top on that daily that we're going to be concerned about with Pinterest. It's a monstrous level. Tony's on the bell. Everyone doing a fantastic job filling in, but Tony, you know him, you love him. He'll be bringing it off a little bit. And I don't want you guys to forget, when you come back by this time tomorrow, we will have eaten like one of the hottest wings that most people will have ever had, and we'll probably all be sweating at least a little bit. I will not be drinking milk, but I guarantee you,
for the people.
Someone around here is going to be drinking a lot of milk, and it's not going to be me after we do the spicy trades. That should be fun tomorrow. Tune back in. But Tony in 3, 2, and 1.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony.
Wow, guys, PayPal just
head.
ripped to 80, giving you an 80-cent winner there into the close. Wow, PayPal really excited into that. That's going to look silly getting out there with, like I got out with 2 minutes left, and then this happens to the upside. Neil and I, of course, have to be flat into the close. Did we get to 2K likes? If you haven't hit it yet, let's try to get that. 1.8K right now. Let's see if we can get 2 real quick here on that one. It was a 2 billion share notional to buy from a value standpoint into that close. So I wish I would have, I just looking now, I wish I would have saw that. Oh, it doesn't matter. PayPal gives us the out, and it's a nice trade there into the close as the NASDAQ looks like it finishes on the day's high there, Brendo.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to show you something, but my computer just completely froze, so positive.
Markets, I mean, I see the NASDAQ finished 1.7. I know, 1.7 to the upside. The ES was like 1.3, and we don't care about the Dow. I don't think many people do. I don't know. I don't really look at it.
Maybe as like a marker. I mean, I don't think.
It's a psychological thing sometimes.
30 stocks, like some of them are older technology and whatnot. Like, I don't know. The Dow is still
price weighted is the thing that gets me. It's not about the number of stocks. It's about the fact it's price weighted. But there we go.
Dow was up 324. It looks like there. I don't know if that's a moving number or not.
So.
Yeah. Oh, it's on that screen. I was looking at the big screen there. Do you want to go to Brendan to review this or?
Sure. I mean,
everything's up.
Yeah. It is what it is. NASDAQ, yeah, 1.6, 1.75 there for the composite in the 100. Leading the way, guys. Big day. Big day tomorrow.
All right, there's another super chat there. Trying to get the likes to 3,000. So thank you so much for that. That'd be pretty awesome if you got that. But I'm expecting at least 3,000 tomorrow because it's spicy trades time tomorrow. So we're going to be having. But it's good that the chicken's on there. It's chicken wings. So that makes sense.
It is going to be like it's wild because not everyone here. I know you had hot wings from the hottest wings that are in Toronto. We both had them.
That was probably 20 years ago. I think I should bring a bottle of Tums or something here tomorrow. This could be good. This could be real spicy.
I'm a little worried about Prad.
Well, he's already claimed to not know anything about hot
where
things,
he is, by the way. But yeah, I'm worried about Prad. That's all I got to say.
I thought you were worried about Brendan, you said.
But I said that about, Brendan's not going to probably make it all the way to the hottest one. But Prad is the kind of guy, like, even if he's done, he'll try. And
Round
he'll
one.
go all the way. You're not round one, dude.
Round one.
1,000 is like
Round
that's
one.
Like Frank. You can do Frank's hot, can't
Right. Exactly.
You can do. You can't do Frank's hot.
No.
Really? Okay. I didn't know that was possible.
I'm gonna hope that there's a little bit of sarcasm in his
you could
voice
drink
there
Frank's hot, dude.
because, like, okay, this is gonna no
Zero chance.
Oh man, this is gonna be real exciting tomorrow. I mean, I'm here for it, and
chance.
this is gonna be spicy to say the
I feel
least.
like Brendan's setting us up.
No
tomorrow.
chance, man.
Still
I'm
only
telling you.
He's got the hustle
1.9K.
going.
I don't know. We need to get some more likes. I mean, look how handsome Brendan is. Look at that haircut.
know.
I mean, if we can't get to 2,000 likes on that haircut alone, then I mean, people.
That is a fresh
people are
haircut.
kinda-
We didn't say that. It's
Kind of missing the point there.
Nice little
mean,
fade.
All right. What was a great
I mean,
show
we're
today?
advertising barbers now, so Queen West Barbers. Shout out.
You
to,
switched your barber?
Shout out to Lauren at Queen West Barbers.
Lauren, okay.
We shutting out our barbers? Yo,
Apparently.
what's up, Keith? Uptown Studio. Been going to the same dude since I got back from university. You're the man, brother. But we talked about what you should do in terms of just buying the indexes. Anyways, he's probably not watching right now, but he always asks me like.
Not probably, Neil.
I know what he's busy right now. He should be booked
Where's yours,
because it's a
Fahad?
Thursday. You ever go to-
Watch Stalking the Streets. You'll see Halim, which is like Randy's barber, mine, Greg's,
The main.
Prad's, all that there.
And
So
go Chiefs.
Shout out to everybody, and go Chiefs too. Yeah, happy birthday to Miss Danielle Shea. I hope your Chiefs give you a present tonight and a nice little victory, because you ain't getting one when the games count. So there it is, Danielle Shea. Thank you again, and a big happy birthday. It's 4:04. Time's running out on us a little bit. Still 1.9K likes as I keep trying to delay this, but let's wrap it up. Thanks to Lucas, Fahad, thanks to Randy today, big time. Thanks for working so hard on that desk. That should be amazing when we finally get it. Thanks to Raheem Alani, came in early for us this morning. Talked a couple Canadian names there. We talked about Zellers from a blast from the past there as well, coming back here in Ontario and throughout Canada. Some nice locations there for Zellers, Hudson's Bay Corp Company coming through as well. Prad, Sharif, Tony, everybody. It's a big day. Tomorrow's going to be even bigger, and I don't imagine I'll be able to talk at this point tomorrow. So join us then as we take down some spicy trades, as well as eat some spicy wings tomorrow. So there it is. We hit 2K, so thank you so much for that one. So because we hit 2K, we'll do a little spicy action one more time. It's 4:04. Join us right now for Alibaba trade, as it's your trade of the day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.